was shot to death last night. Now you're lying in my bed. Must have been a dream last night, but I can hear what you're saying. You were shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night. Can't you hear what I'm saying? One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you.
Now in day number 3 of VCT Game Changers Asia Pacific Series 2023, and we are starting to see teams really heat up. I'm Tash Benet alongside Zach. We are going to be our panelists for today. And oh my god, has these past 2 days been insane. So why don't we talk about a recap on what you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think insane is the word here, really. We've had some new teams coming in with fire. Top 8 teams over the course of that first Swiss stage, out of 71 making it, and it's been some fiery games. We had Cappy Gang make their debut. You know, they got eliminated yesterday, but all things considered, really, really good performance. They actually stole a map off of RRQ, but right now we had our first team qualify yesterday for the finals as well, who I believe is going to be none other than SMG with a strong 2-0 against Sapphire. I think this is the first time, I mean, it is the first tournament this year, but this is also one of the first times that Sapphire has really been kicked into the lower bracket, so as to speak.
I mean,
but you know what is interesting?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, you know what is interesting the match today, which I'm sure you can go on about.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because as we know, when it comes to Sapphire becoming, I mean, we just saw a video of her by FSL earlier today or yesterday, I believe, and I think that it really marks the legend of who exactly Ginny is as a person, as she has gone through this, I would say, tactical shooter journey of her life from CS:GO all the way to Valorant. I think it's a major highlight that we need to talk about. But first, there's also stuff that we need to talk about from yesterday, where we've had more than one team already eliminated. Kapira Gang is already out of the way, as well as Go Cyrene. Now, as we move forward here, I think that yesterday we had some really, really interesting situations happen as well. The fact that we had two of the strongest teams here in the tournament already battled it up for the top seed, which was, I believe, Orangutan versus RRQ Kaguya, which is also something that's really exciting to talk about.
Oh yeah, Kaguya, I think that so far over the course of this tournament, they've definitely been looking just a little bit weaker without Eneri being that star fragger that we've seen them having for about the last 2 years. But, you know, all things considered, they've still managed to, like, put things back together pretty well. Right now, though, before we talk more about these different teams, let's take a look at the tournament format that we do have for the rest of the series. Open 1, which is where we're at, it is $10,000 overall prize pool per tournament, and the top 6 teams over the course of these 3 opens happening over March, which is now, June in a couple of months, and July after that, will be qualifying directly to Elite.
Yeah, so when we talk about Stage 1, Stage 2, and Stage 3, we've seen this happen last year already, where Stage 1 is a very interesting one. It's already happening right now, and we already know that it's all about that point collection system. Now, if we look at trends from last year, Sapphire had a very interesting run where they couldn't make it through Stage 1. They barely made it with points, and then after that made it king in during the open overtime. So this is where we are right now, Open 1 from 9th till the 12th, and playoffs from 15th all the way till the 19th, marking this weekend being the grand finals for Open 1. After that, we're going to go to Open number 2 from June 1st to 4th, playoff 7th to 11th, and Open 3, last one for Stage 1. Groups, July 20th to 23rd, and then July 26th to 30th for the final situation. Now, elimination is going to be per points, top 6 move forward and qualify for the elites. And of course, let's go and talk about Stage 2 now. And I think this is also very interesting because each stage comes with their own prize pool, I believe. Now, when you think about Stage 2, think of it as the last chance for you guys to make it into Elite with a $10,000 prize pool. And instead of 6 teams to qualify like Stage 1, this time there's only 2.
Yeah, of course, all of this does lead up to Elite, which is the pinnacle events for the APAC circuit of Game Changers. The winner of that, if there is a GCC championship this year on a global level, will be representing APAC at that forum. Though hopefully this year we have more than a slot, because at this point I think every single person watching this series can confirm that of course APAC deserves more than a slot, but that's just me yapping on about that. Elite is going to be, like the name suggests, the very pinnacle of that competition over the course of the year. The 8 teams that have earned their way to this qualifier will be participating. Talking about qualified teams, so let's take a look at who are in this particular Open 1 here. I believe that if you look at the list, it is going to be some familiar names from last year and some new ones popping up. Orangutan, SMG, Sapphire, and Kaguya are both favorites from last year. Kaguya, of course, being that rebranded, that alter ego roster that got picked up by RRQ, participating under the new name with one replacement, which is Best instead of Ineri. Sapphire, the only team which I believe is completely unchanged. SMG, again, a favorite from last year, but they've kind of incorporated that Bren Victress core that, did pretty well last year. So now they're looking like, honestly, one of the strongest contenders in this tournament. And of course, Orangutan, they've also had a little bit of roster changes coming in. Their IGO Sway stepped down because of exams, I believe, and they still have Powerhouse Casper as well as some other great players like Chloe and I think that they've been doing pretty well despite their loss to RRQ yesterday.
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about the journey so far, where we started off here with our first 6 matches. And I think it's really exciting to think about how some of these teams, despite being from I would say, the top tier teams here in the tournament, now starting off new teams, trying to make their mark here in totally new teams as they're trying to find a way or their new home, as some teams have been disbanded and some teams are just no longer around. Now coming in here, you can see that SMG will be going up against RRQ on the upper bracket, which is going to be super exciting in my opinion as they move on to the grand finals. And now for today, this is where things get serious. We have Orangutan and GE and Sapphire versus Big Scythe.
Oh.
And this is where it's a do or die situation. You lose, you go home, and it's gonna be like this throughout the entire day. So now we have the Indian Civil War for game number 1, and for number 2, we have Sapphire, the defending champions from last year, who went all the way to Berlin, the champions of Elite, going up against Big Scythe, who undoubtedly had pretty much a strong start in my opinion.
Yeah, Scythe have been really showing up over the course of this event. Like we talked about, a few roster changes coming in for them as well. I think Oreophilia and Gwen, they're kind of that killer duo that you want to watch out for on that particular team. But this first match, I like how you called it Tash Indian Civil War indeed, because both these teams, they've kind of been the bastion for the scene. Of course, like we talked about Orangutan, they have Casper, they had Sway, who is now in a CC position, but still an organization that had a strong start when it came down to it. But of course, it is going to be that they're them going up against this new roster here. Imagine GE in their first try, they were able to make it through 71 teams through that Swiss stage to qualify here, and they're still alive, and they're still, if I may say it so myself, fighting. But let's take a look at the highlights from yesterday. We did see Big Scythe manage to pull off a really strong win against Cappy G. Man, I love that name. I love saying Cappy G. It's so fun.
I think it's always really fun when teams bring the fun into the game, and I think that for Big Scythe coming into the game, they have a lot they want to show off. It's basically a redemption arc from them coming in from last year, I believe, because they had a pretty strong showing, but it wasn't enough to really launch them forward as they were just really formed throughout the middle of the year. But what do you think?
Oh, I definitely agree. Cappy G, they had some moments of greatness, but overall, I think that the experience coming in on the individual players for the side of Big Side just kind of shines through. Like we spoke about, Oreophilia was on Alter Ego for 2 years, joined Orangutan after that, and now playing in this team, she does seem to be taking a bit of a leadership role here, and the kind of plays that she has as well, really phenomenal. But the second game as well, I think that kind of thing still comes through, even though it was a 2-0 coming out of SMG. I think that the biggest problem that SMG had last year, they've already fixed, which was the fact that Kohibi was that sole player who used to always pick up more than her weight, sometimes would overheat, but now I'm gonna take credit for coining this term. It is that dynamic duo between Alexi and Kohibi that's able to find so much value, and I think that's what is really helping SMG thrive across multiple levels. Sapphire though, even if they're in that lower bracket, I don't think that they're going anywhere. They're definitely looking to fight their way back up.
I think that for Sapphire, it's more of just the same things that they need to kind of fix from last year. At the same time, it's more of that finding that confidence again. They do take a while to really figure out what exactly they want to do and how exactly they want to execute it, but execution wise, if they manage to really overcome that roadblock, they can make it pretty big, and we saw that happen all the way up in VCT, GC, APAC, LCQ last year. Now, coming back into today, as we head into our first series, I'm really excited about this because these two teams, as we mentioned before, the Indian Civil War. We have GE, who just had the most bombastic intro ever for their players, and of course for Orangutan, we know that for them it's all about having fun, having their, I would say, their players really show their personalities through their play. And of course, with the combinations of the Indian players, the Singaporean players, as well as the Filipino players, we really bring it to a whole different level when it comes to fusion, where we have Tondo Gaming just really up online with the Indian aggression to come through.
Yeah, I think that both of these teams, they exemplify the best that a region can bring. But at the end of the day, I think that it is going to be I hope that it's going to be a pretty close match. I don't want to make any predictions or jinx any people and get some curses on my head later. But I think that what it's really going to come down to is team synergy. Because so far, I think that the one thing that GE has struggled with over the course of the couple days is having every single player step up when it's needed. We saw that coming up in that series against Cyrene, where individual players like Kiri were also able to put up really good performances. But if you look at that scoreboard consistently, time and time again, it's just been Muffin and Meow16k who have been that powerhouse for that team, being able to kind of push them to excellence. And today, I think that's the biggest differentiator right now between Orangutan and GE. Orangutan, they've been playing since last year. Their individual players have way more synergy. I know for a fact that Casper and Japeeps like to duo quite a lot, as do Muffin and Meow16k. But overall, I think Orangutan, they're just a little bit more experienced when we head into this matchup. It's gonna be a question if GE have had enough time to kind of work through their individual issues. Remember, this is a roster that formed barely a couple of months ago, and they're already in that top 6, so huge credits to them. I personally love all of them, but I think in this matchup, it's just gonna come down to which team has better synergy and execution overall. That's my take on it.
I mean, when you look at the storyline again, we had this conversation before where Crave being in the medical field alongside the owner of GE, and I think it's really exciting to talk about that because it really shows the precision that comes through. Now, when they are able to execute, I think GE is very good in terms of execution, in terms of holds, in terms of what they have to do. Now, I think the biggest problem for them is coming through the Orangutan roadblock here, how they are just so an unmovable force, very, very unstoppable and very, very fast. If they're able to overcome that, it's going to be absolutely huge. Now, I can't really hear what our director's trying to say. Are we ready for the game? Oh, okay. So apparently we're just going to go for a quick break first. And when we come back, we're going to be seeing our first match of the day, Orangutan and Global Esports. Woo! The first game of the day is about to start, the Indian Civil War, and I am more than excited to see this match. Tash Bunny here alongside Zach, and we are gonna be your panelists for today. Now, before we go into the game here, let's talk a little bit about synergies. We talked about the synergy between GE, on how exactly when it comes to execution, when allowed to do it, they have a really good hold. Capable hands, surgical precision, that is the name of their game. But what about Orangutan, Zach?
I mean, Orangutan, I think that they're definitely a team that has a great amount of synergy. You know, when you're building, I think they were one of the truly multinational rosters that we saw coming on the scene since last year. And, you know, they looked a little bit shaky, but ever since they made that comeback from 111, Tash, I think that they have been one of the strongest teams to contend with in the scene. And over the course of the past year, you know, you haven't seen too many changes coming in this particular roster. Their core is still the same. I think instead of Sway, you know, it is going to be Ziddy coming in. They picked up Capricious as well, really being able to incorporate talent from all over the APAC region into one particular team. I think that that is their strongest point, and I think that so far they've been doing a great job with it, especially looking at their play in during the course of this tournament. They've looked really good.
Yeah, but let's look at the player lineup here. Let's see the teams. So let's talk a little bit about what we've seen so far here from, at least for Orangutan. You talked about their core hasn't really changed so much, and the only reason why there's a change from Sway moving forward is because that she was moving toward a content creator direction, and we all are hearing as well that she wants to focus on her studies. So after that, we also are talking about the pickups of the two new players rather, for the team here. But let's talk a little bit about Orangutan first. Muffin Loop, Meow 16K, Rose, Kiri, and Hai Fei. Now, in my opinion, looking at them individually, they are very, very strong, especially Muffin Loop and Kiri yesterday, who did one of the most major step-ups throughout their entire journey thus far this week.
Yeah, Global Esports Phoenix, definitely. It's like we said, it's their first time being on the stage, and to be able to qualify for this kind of playoff stage right off the bat, that's brilliant coming in from them. Their star player, like we highlighted, Muffin Loop, Meow 16K, we saw a little bit of their Sage action as well, really being able to pop it off. And the thing is, all of these individual players, they have that pop-off capability. It just comes down to when and if they're going to be able to do it. But I think that we are going to be having our next lineup coming up, which is Orangutan. Like you mentioned, those two new players that they did pick up, Tash. But yeah, Casper, Peeps, both of these have been around since the beginning of this roster. I think around last year's overtime as well, we saw Chloe join the team. Since then, she's been that menacing killjoy that you really, really want to have on your side, especially if you're on a set defense, because she does not let anything go. Two new players coming in as well. Capricious from Zomeraki, one of the strongest duelists that I've personally seen, and it's nice to see that she's going back to her jet roots here on this particular team, coming in instead of Sway. And of course, to round off with Zini, you know, she did pick up quite a bit of that chamber last year, but now a little bit more of a flex role. Overall, I think this roster, they just have those players that are super experienced, have been participating almost through every single event of GC over the course of the last 3 years. And I think that just for that, they have, at least on the experience front, a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah, I love to see these new players come up as well, because if you look at how exactly Orangutan has been doing in terms of their rosters, they like to maintain the core and just go in for long periods of time. It's very rare that we see a big change in their roster. Now for GE, because this is a sunrise team, I would say that this is pretty exciting, because we don't really understand or can see the potential. Because personally for me, coming from VCT, GC APAC, I could only ask you what we can expect, what we can see. And even you mentioned that not a lot of them, or not all of them, has had experience on the big stage. And I think that this can really, really play a toll. That yes, they are probably really good when it comes to the local leagues. Yes, they really have the mental and execution. But when it comes to the mental stage, as they go into the bigger stage, this is where things will start to fall apart. When you have too many rounds in a row you've lost, what are you going to do? But coming into this, these are the three matches we're going to be getting today. Fracture, Haven, Icebox. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I mean, map number 1, Fracture. This is a really good pick, I think, because you know it is picked by GE. They've had a really strong time in it over the course of this entire tournament. They were able to pull off that 13-5 against Ghost Cyrene yesterday, knocking them out of the event. And I think this is a map that Orangutan also faltered in yesterday. They lost it 13-7 to RRQ. So GE, perhaps they've done a little bit of prep work, a little bit of analysis of the mistakes, and they are feeling confident because not only did they win, they also saw Orangutan lose. I think that could be the major reason behind this coming out in this map number 1 of this tournament. But map number 2, Haven, this is a map that historically since last year, Orangutan have looked super comfortable with. It's like one of their stronger maps, I would say, and they were able to even pull off that win against Kaguya, who, like we did talk about, is one of the favorites in this particular tournament on this map. So definitely I think it comes down to comfort versus their opponent teams not being super comfortable on these first 2 maps. But Tash, what do you think about our decider?
I have already forgotten our decider. What was that? Icebox. All right, talking about Icebox, I think we've seen GE play on Icebox, and yesterday they played out of their minds. That is when we see Kiri with the step ups, with the nice little flanks. That is when we see Meow 16K with its insane walls just coming through, and they're unable to move. And I'm really liking the fact that because that map is all about control, it's all about execution. combination, it works so well in their favor. But Orangutan is a little bit more loose, I feel. They're very adaptable. They're able to go as aggressive and defensive as they want to. Their pacing is just really good. So the fact for Orangutan is I've noticed that if so long as they keep the momentum and control their hands, the game should be fine. Because in terms of, but once you notice that when RRQ Kaguya was able to take the momentum back, they weren't able to take it out of the way. Now, I'm really excited to see what exactly do these teams have in mind as we go into the game. For lineups here, I think we've seen both teams at least play on this map. Do you think any changes should be done? And what do you think of this Neon and Capricious?
I mean, I think Capricious on Neon is really good. I've mostly casted or watched her play Jet before, but I think that on this particular map for Fracture, Neon is one of those really strong agents. You can really set up the rest of your team with those stuns, especially, you know, the fast lane. It kind of slices open the site, acts as a secondary smoke. I think that overall this is something that has worked for Orangutan before. I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to go, but, you know, what does interest me is GE's setup here, because they have that Breach and that Raze combination. We've seen how deadly it can be.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Rose, even if she's not been able to frag out the most consistent way, she's been able to really set up Meow 16k for these duels, and I think that's really valuable.
It is really valuable, but yesterday if we talked about momentum, if say Orangutan was not able to control the speed, which is what we saw from RRQ on this particular map, it might spell trouble. Because if you look at the two different the disparities between the two teams, it felt like Capricious was a little bit, I would say, kind of like lagging behind when it comes to speed from our fellow Ayumi running Neon yesterday. But then this time around, it is gonna be a Neon for Meow 16k. Don't know if the dynamics are gonna change. Don't know if this set match sort of play will be very important for both of these teams. Regardless, let's see how it's gonna go. Indian Civil War, map number 1, Fracture. Let's go to our casters. Surprise Caster 1 and Terror.
Surprise, surprise, surprise! Ooh. It is! Welcome back, Zach Taylor here, and we are gonna be your casters for this series. Again, you are watching the VCT Game Changers Asia Pacific Series 2023. Now that we have seen the map pool, the map veto, and even when it comes to the players and what their agents are gonna be there, I wonder what can they bring to the table. I'm excited about this Neon pick. It's Fracture. It's gonna be fast.
Yeah, I think fast is the name of the game here, considering how big this map is and how many lanes there are to attack. You know, whatever side you're on, whether you're on attack or defense, you really want to try to play for the information.
Definitely true. And aside from that, great showing from Global Esports here from yesterday's match, and we can definitely see that along the days that we're looking at, everyone is just getting better and better each and every time. And this just goes to show, knowing that we came from the Swiss stage and now moving forward here, they've battled it out way back before, and now they're gonna do it again. But this time we should focus here because we're getting closer and closer to the end of the bracket here. Zach, GE versus OGT onto the pistol round.
Yeah, right now though, on defense, it is going to be GES starting off right there. Going to be a little bit of a slow play from them, but you know who's not going slow? It does seem like OGT. They're on full track towards the drop area. 0 point from Muffin Loop. Going to give away at least a little bit of information that there is some presence here. They have taken control and are looking to possibly re-aggress though, with at least 3 of their players being tagged up there. I'm not sure if that's really the best idea already. You can see off the back of that the quick kind of reactions coming out of GE with some abilities coming in, but now that the suppression has worn off, they're going to be making their way into site. Now 16k, the first point of contact immediately being shut down by Capricious as OGT, they take the site.
And the plant settles in for the spike itself. Now onto the post plant here, OGT, they have to move away. Molly onto the site as well, getting a little bit of damage here towards Capricious as she was trying to move out and prepare this post plant. Now with a flash, they start off. Rose not seeing anyone. They know and they're aware there's gonna be a flank, but this double trouble setup coming in from OGT. A little bit of a delay towards GES here, and now OGT, they have to fight for this spike as Muffin Loop taps the spike here. It's still the man disadvantage that we are looking at. Orangutan taking round number 1. 1-0 it is.
Oh no, indeed, and it all started with Capricious being able to find that first crucial frag here. Clean headshot onto Meow 16K. Doesn't even take a little bit of damage in the process. Of course, you do see me bounce back, Haife and Rose both being able to find impactful kills. But again, OGT, they kind of play like a net does, gradually close it in, and off the back of that, they were able to finally convert that round. They get the plants as well, so a little bit more money in their bags. We're going to be seeing 5 Spectres across the board here. And I think that, once again, Orangutan, they kind of stepped it up. They had a little bit of a slow time on this particular map yesterday, but, you know, on attack especially, they look much more comfortable, and they're happy to take the fight to GE.
Though we are expecting this to be fast, but so far right now, Zach, we're seeing a very slow play here, knowing that they might be wary of the locations here from Global Esports. We all know that they can also purchase shotguns, which, hypothetically speaking, we already see here right now. Haife and Kiri had some shorties a while ago, but it seems like they know they have to make a retake happen anytime soon. A site is very much clear for the taking here, coming in from Orangutan.
Yeah, they should be able to get the spike down. That gamble stack not exactly working as expected or hoped. They are looking to go aggressive with the concussion. Not exactly being used here, might be causing a little bit of punishes. However, it is going to be Chloe trying to hold down the fort. The concussion is impeccable though, and it is going to be finally a kill coming through. Capricious trying to style on them, runs out of bullets. Finally, the Japeeps will give them the backup to be able to connect that kill, and it's all down to Haife. A 1v3. It is going to be one of these players super low, but Ziddy will be the one to take that engagement. And Orangutan, they convert their second. They lose a couple of Spectres in the process, but apart from those awkward moments towards main, I think they're good.
Like you said, they were able to at least get 2 kills here coming in from Global Esports. At least alleviating when it comes to the economy, and especially moving forward onto round number 3 makes it a little bit more difficult to convert, or rather to convert those rounds or those bonus rounds that we are looking at. And as you can see, they're just purchasing 1 Stinger here and a Frenzy as well. On to Global Esports though, it's gonna be a full buy here, Zach. And GES, they want to go an aggressive defense here. Meow goes for the peek, managed to take 1. It's a hit and run, and now they're just going to go back to the site and just play default here, as they know they have the man advantage already.
Yeah, they're going ahead, although Chloe with the stinker not able to, not only finding 1 but 2 absolutely insane shots coming out at that close range. It is finally going to be Rose being able to get that trade. The damage has been done off the back of Rose rotating off site. It is going to be Capricious taking a lot of space. Kiri though still able to hunker down, get that kill even despite the smoke. Absolutely huge frag, and right now GE, they have the numbers advantage, they have the weapon advantage. It's going to be this push through CT to try and find some value, but Kiri will shut it down. A 3k for the Brimstone, and GE, they find their first on their full buy.
I like the idea here, Zach. If you think about it, for Orangutan, they knew that they were only holding onto the Spectres, and I'm quite surprised that, you know, Chloe was still able to pick up 2 kills onto that Stinger. Really valuable for the entire team. Really made it more expensive for the side of Global Esports as well, and especially in that sense where you only have Spectres versus Vandals, you would want to go to inside the smoke or to the site itself altogether, as even giving that extra firepower towards your team.
There.
Those are some really great points, and I agree. However, in particular, you mentioned, I'm just scared about how those shotgun plays are really going to work out. Right now, though, it is going to be Rose able to find that first quick. Meow find the second as well, but the trades are going to be quick. In fact, Capricious is finding 2 in the process. Right now, it's all down to just Meow, Muffin, and Kiri here, who are still trying to kind of anchor down the side. Muffin Lupa is going to get this information. This confrontation will probably decide how it goes. And Capricious doesn't check her corners, and just like that, the spike is going to be dropped. Muffin now aware of the position of this last player as well, and will be able to keep and convert that kill onto Japeeps. GE, after that pistol, it didn't go their way, but they're known for coming back. They're known for bouncing back, and they look to be back in full form for this one.
I know we all say that pistol round sets momentum. The first initial 2 rounds probably going to your side, but as we can see also, like the movements, the rotations coming in here from Orangutan, they had a brief idea that they should go together, especially it was a 2v2 situation. Capricious, yet again, she was an Ian. It's a little bit too fast. There was no trades, and the spike was dropped immediately, just in front, just giving not enough space to actually make a rotation happen if they decide to. Capricious now stunned, and they'll go down in the hands of Muffin Loop. Chloe, on the other hand, to get the trade here, but Meow still ready to take on the charge here. 3v4 situation. Again, broken by from OGT here. They're trying to make it work.
That might have been a mistake there as Kiri opens the door to try to send out a molly, get some information. Kafir was lying in wait though, and off the back of that, that is going to be one more rifle drop. Might even be able to get retrieved if OGT are careful about it. They're thinking about it, but instead they decided to possibly go for a rotation instead. Unfortunately, though, B-side is going to be where not only the Killjoy utility, but also the Killjoy herself is still at home. Haifei watching for any kind of CT push will now be keeping her attention onto this site, and that turret will be that first point of contact. Haifei trying to play for a closer angle here. It does get the information that at least it's going to be a push towards the site, and with this angle being held, might be able to convert all the damage. Gets two, in fact, and before finally being shut down, it's all down to just won't be able to pick up that weapon, but it does seem like 16k was expecting it, and that is going to be that last kill for GE as they get 3 in a row.
Blinded by the weapon, Japeeps here. Just like how we play our ranked games, Japeeps. Anyway, as soon as she sees a skin, she will pick it up. She doesn't care. But anyway, jokes aside, obviously she had a stinger there. Wanted to go for an upgrade. But unfortunately for her, there's gonna be Meow waiting patiently to get the kill instead. 3-2, and so far, Global Esports getting that 1 round advantage. And as we can see, knowing that you have a double innie setup as well for the side of GE, it's really difficult to go in onto the side, but it seems like with the start coming in from the wall from Capricious, they want to make trouble here onto Arcade. They managed to spawn one. That's going to be Meow going down. Just trades after trades here as we stop in onto a 2v2 situation. It's a whole skirmish onto Arcade.
Zinni able to find 3 there, absolutely huge. Does have the null command active as well, but now it's going to be a 1v2 muffin loop for the clutch here. It's going to be in fact pushing towards Arcade, so that's going to be some information, some areas of the map that she will be able to clear before trying to make this work. OGT have no idea where exactly this player is. It's all going to come down to timing. Muffin loop looking for the push out. Turret, not exactly, oh never mind, it does manage to finally spot out her position. Now command going to be popped as well to try to make this isolated fight work. Doesn't know where they are, except that one is tower. Gets the first headshot, looking for a second, and will convert it. Muffin loop, how can you do this? Gee, they find 4 after that beautiful clutch coming out of her.
Wow, interestingly enough, she really popped that ult as well, just to make sure that no flashes would hop out, nothing, no utility play at all. And by that point, she knew that she only has to take those angles. Such a perfect take, especially coming in here from GES. But yet again, if you think about it, that's 1 ult popped, but it was worth it. A round is a round, and you want to take that lead, you know? It was, right now, it's going to be a 4-2, and at this point, for OGT, they're not going to have money to buy for the next round.
Yeah, once again, the economy in a little bit of a rough spot. You know, we saw this before. They were able to make these 50 rounds expensive at the very least. But if you consider it, the fact that Global Esports, they managed to win 4 rounds in a row, it's a little bit of cause for concern. Not only do OGT want to consider what their next plan is, considering they do have some crucial ults online, they also want to make sure that GE isn't going to be running away with it and giving them the momentum for free. So yeah, that is going to be the timeouts being called by OG here. One of the things I've noticed is that OG always do better after a timeout. It's really weird, but it's like their little team flex. Like every time they've called a timeout over the course of the last year, after that they just immediately come back into it and just popped off. So I think they're one of the teams that really manages to utilize these timeouts quite well.
And aside from that, if you think for the side of Orangutan here, especially on a timeout, so far, whenever they do timeouts here, at least you can definitely see it's a little bit more clearer, especially how they entry, especially how they want to take sides here. And as we can see, this is going to be 4 people having Spectres right now. Obviously, you have that loss advantage or bonus that we can talk about as well for multiple rounds, but it seems like it's going to be a fast take yet again. Orangutan taking cover already here onto B Tower, clearing it out. And now GES, they have to defend the site, but so far no one's peeking. They want to wait for the rotations of the 3 people here from the rest of the team.
They're taking it a bit slow, I would say. Spike does go down, and now it is going to be a 4v5 instead of retake. All of these players are going to be coming in for a bit of a flank play. As Orangutan themselves, they're willing to push up the CT off the back of this. It's going to be just Kiri isolated now. They've caught her position. Does have the orbital strike to work with. Will be trying to pick into it, but unfortunately Chloe in that close range. That Spectre is going to more than be shredding her right now. Showstopper pop by Meow 16k to try and make this work. However, it's going to be a Rosa ult, not quite able to find anything off it. does convert. It's going to be all down to these last two remaining players to VCT to try and make something work. Chloe more than ready for it. 4 on the ground for the Killjoy. And it's all down to just Rose, but it's going to be Chloe with the ace here on this eco round. Starts off with a Spectre, ends up with the Vandal and the ace. That's what we want, OG.
Chloe really finding value on those low buys that we are looking at. Remember, Orangutan here only had 4 Spectres. And from the rounds that we were looking at a while ago, Zach, Chloe was just using stingers. She was getting value in each and every round despite the economy disadvantage, especially for this round. This was a half buy for the side of Orangutan, and now we are seeing a timeout for global esports as well as economy is tippling over here as we are looking at it. What do you think would be the way that OGT can take on to the sites much more clearer? And it seems like for global esports, it's so far a 50-50 on whoever takes the site and whoever gets the punish, Zach.
Yeah, that's a really good point you brought up there. I think that so far on this defense area, they're kind of playing fast and loose with the map. I think they're kind of stacking towards one side. They're kind of looking to let kind of Haifei just do her anchor thing. And if she is able to do that on that B side, it's not a big deal because that Killjoy utility is incredibly powerful. But the moment that she gets shut down, either by being taken down or with the help of that Kill utility, it just becomes almost impossible to retake, especially if there's going to be that initial player disadvantage coming in. For Orangutan, though, I like that you talked about the stinger because let me tell you, Chloe is a beast on any weapon you give her, but that stinger in particular, you do not want to go up against that. I've seen Chloe and Casper kind of do these plays where they just put that stim beacon down, run it with 2 stingers, and they get like 4 kills between them. Yeah, that's the kind of dynamic. Right now, though, talking about the stingers, it is going to be Meow 16k having one instead. Once again, a gamble stack towards his B site. Immediately gonna be finding out that A is home. No one's at home at A, and they're just going to be able to get the spike down for absolutely no charge. So this flank, it might be what to watch.
Gamble when it comes to risk, but again, big risk, big rewards, or high risk, high rewards. Unfortunately, this time didn't pay off. The stack, they have to move all together. It's a 5-man push here, starting off with Meow leading the charge. No one to follow yet as Kiri takes on a trade here. It's still a lot of people onto A main. It's still a lot of players here. 3v2 situation. Rose and Haifei. Again, only with sheriffs here, and they know, Orangutan knows they have the strength here, especially in numbers. Not only that, they're playing on the post plant.
The flash is going to buy a little bit more time, but at this point, it's all down to just Haifei. Does get one, it's more about how much damage she can do than anything else. That they should keep these players on site. Gets all the kills, but unfortunately, no time for the defuse. Really, really nice work coming out of Haifei. Haifei's like, look guys, if you can get some thrifty kills, Chloe, you can get an ace, I can get a 4k too. I'm not any bit less dominant, but unfortunately it is going to be the round converted by Orangutan off the back of that full buy for them. Really great stuff coming in. They didn't even have to use this lockdown, which I think will be a major factor heading into this next round. But yeah, it's going to be 4-4. And remember how I said GE had like that early momentum? It seems like after that timeout, it's just completely gone. It's out.
Not only that, Haifei really stepping up to the table here, made it extremely expensive for the side of Orangutan as well. And with Haifei, from the previous games, we've seen her as well. She is a good anchor on the sides. Not only that, she can definitely clutch, and you have to look out for her. Not only that, but you also have Muffin Loop, a very impactful player coming in from the team here, and Kiri, a very good controller as well. Now, Meow though, spots one. Chloe knows the info. I don't think she would want to peek this again. This is going to be a triple man push here coming in from Orangutan, and just like that, one punished. But Muffin Loop ready to trade on. At least they were able to take that trade, Zach, but this is going to be the lockdown.
I'm very surprised that Meow decided to go there alone because of the fact that, like you mentioned, they expected the lockdown, but however, they weren't able to really try and take it down like Meow wanted to. That solo push, not the way to go, unfortunately. Right now, though, it is going to be the lockdown invested by the defenders as well, actually managing to catch Ziggy off guard. Casper will be trying to push through to find Rose. Very crucial kill there, though. Kiri able to just go for these trades one by one. Things back down to 3v3. Spike planted on the side. The Rolling Thunder available as well. As soon as that Spike tap comes in, Orangutan, they're going to be investing in to make sure that nobody's going to be touching the spike. Still, the Aftershock as well to buy even more time. Just the post-spawn utility coming out of Orangutan. It's so oppressive, but it's all down to just Chapeeps. A 1v2 to somehow clutch out the spike. Still being stuck. The kill's isolated as well, and Chapeeps, the clutch coming through will prevent the defuse. Orangutan, they take the lead.
Japeve just knowing exactly when to peek and at the same time when to use her utilities as well. She knew she had the Rolling Thunder. Not only that, she knew she had flashes, full utilities that she had there, even an aftershock, to really push onto that delay that they wanted to give against GE here. Successful take yet again from Orangutan, and so far this match, it's 5-4. It's just a rally. It's just like seeing and looking at volleyball. Just, you know, seeing the ball just tipple over onto the right side and then go back to the left yet again.
Yeah, a little bit of a momentum shift right now, I would say, with Orangutan being able to win the last 3, if I'm not wrong. This game is so back and forth, but right now, once again, the economy not in the greatest spot for GE. No ultimates either to work, with the exception of Kiri possibly being able to get that orbital strike online if she can get a couple of kills. This time, no, not really as much of a gamble stack. One player is going to be relegated towards this B area of the map, but still, 4 are going to be towards A. It does seem like Orangutan, they have the lead though, after making a little bit of noise. They're possibly looking to go over towards B instead, where it is going to be that pincer maneuver, again, going to be converging on Haife. Last time around, she wasn't able to really do anything against it. This time, with this Bucky, I don't know. I think with the Bucky, she might be in trouble.
The problem here is there's going to be a force stack onto A. They only have Buckies there on the other side as well, and they have to make a rotation happen as soon as the spike gets down on B. And one onto tower, which probably Orangutan will clear out. If they will, because there's still one person waiting there. Japeep's already knowing there is one on tower. And again, Zach, they only have the Bucky from the other side. They have to push in using this or get a kill. Now with a spray down coming in from Zuni. That's going to be a double kill. Meow and Rose, the only players remaining here. Orbital strike not going to be in play as Casper shuts down one yet again. Rose will also go, and that's going to be a 6-4. Global Esports, 2-round disadvantage here, but for Orangutan, so far, they're looking good.
Yeah, remember, this is G's map pick. They were able to do super well yesterday, and Orangutan, despite that slow start, they definitely managed to come kicking back into some really good reads coming out of them, I would say. And overall, they're just being able to consistently play for these ultimates and that advantage. You know, you saw that kind of utility coming out when they got the post plant down the last time. They're looking to do that this time once again. Casper still having that orbital strike online, and All Command also might be a factor coming into this from Zinni. And finally, Capricious only one away from that overdrive. So a lot of really crucial ults that are online or very close to being online for Orangutan. Though for Global Esports, this is honestly their round to win. They want to try and make sure they convert it because it is their full buy. They are close to some ultimates, and more than that, just if they lose this, their economy is going to be in a super rough spot for the next round. Meow 16K once again goes hunting, trying to find a kill or two. Instead, runs into the turret, and immediately off the back of that, Chloe's like, nope, I don't want to mess with Meow 16K alone. Hello, team. It's nice to see you again.
Surprisingly, a very slow take, though, coming in from Orangutan, knowing that we were expecting, especially we've seen this same lineup on another day or a different day. It was also Fracture and Capricious and the rest of the team were extremely fast onto taking sites, especially on the attacker as well. Just not sure how they're going to be able also to utilize that more, especially here on the rounds that we are looking at. And we are seeing very slow movements. And this can also be because of that double innie setup, especially being tagged out by that KO. The knife settles in, and now the stun exactly towards Haife, but she was still able to get the kills. The triple kill even. Calm and collected. It's going to be Haife for B3 situation. Both of the KOs are down here. Now making it a 3v2 as Muffin Loop still awake here and alive. Goes for the pop flash. Not going to catch anyone, and it's again Haife getting a triple kill here. OJT, so much pressure onto them. It's got to be GES taking the win here, 5-6, and finally settling into a 1-round advantage here as OGT still.
Huge work coming out of them, and of course I think it all starts with Haife just being that anchor onto site. I like that, you know, despite her being stunned and everything, she didn't even shoot a bullet until Capricious went past her. Always check your corners, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's watching this, because otherwise there might be a Haife in your ranked games waiting to ruin your time. Being able to, like you mentioned there, get 3 kills, huge impact coming out of the Resident Killjoy off the back of that, only 1 away from that ult as well. That lockdown could be proved to be crucial on retake. In fact, they're much closer to a lot of these ults than anybody else. Though I think for the side of Orangutan, they still do have some stuff to work with. An early orbital strike coming out, and unfortunately, this A push, it's immediately going to be shut down as Chloe on the lurk is able to find not just 1 but 2.
change up the pacing here yet again, Zach. They go faster, and this time taking B side completely against players here of GE. There's gonna be that flank coming in from Muffin and Meow, successfully taking down Chloe here, at least alleviating the pressure onto the site. It's still a 4v3 up until the end. Not only that, we still have an overdrive as well. Meow goes out, hops out, and Japeep sees that swing. She takes it any time of any day. Muffin though, ooh, gonna be stunned, gonna be presence detected as well. Both of every utility that you could ever think of, Zach, will just connect 7-5. Orangutan paving their way onto this attack, but too far from comfort, I would say.
Yeah, it was, I think G expected to do just a little bit better, but all things considered, I think that they found much more success on their attacking half yesterday. However, we talked a lot. Let's give it to our panelists for the breakdown of what we've seen so far. Take it away, guys.
Zach, take it away.
No, I don't think it's me. I think they got some videos, thankfully.
Wow, wow, wow. Zach moving away, and we have a brand new surprise visitor here. We have Trix as well as Shakiri in the backside there. Hi!
Yes. This is my cat hanging out over there, but yes, hello.
Alright, so if you guys don't know, Trix used to be one of the IGLs as well as coaches for Enigma Galaxy prior to this, as well as, I think just Rising Hope, I believe. So, for now, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen before in Global Esports with Orangutan. So, it was a great start there for Global Esports, managing to change so many rounds in a row. What happened there when Orangutan took it back?
I feel that Orangutan was definitely struggling a little bit in terms of controlling when GES started getting some more momentum. They were able to take more map control. They were taking these aggressive peaks early on and then waiting for teammates to then push up. And it was catching OGT off a lot. And what ended up happening was OGT needed to start putting a little more pressure, being a little more volatile, in words of like the casters saying they had to be a little more explosive. And that started to get them those round wins that they needed.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about economy here, how Chloe was able to get the ace even on stingers. What do you think about that?
Chloe has always been phenomenal with most of the guns that she uses. Her positioning is fantastic. Her game sense is on point. The way that she's able to play around the opponents and around her utility, it's always such a treat to watch her play.
Yeah, it's always so exciting to see. Now, as we go into the second half, a swap here, what are you predicting is going to happen?
I personally find that Fracture tends to be more attacker-sided in terms of the way that it splits up the defender side. So I think that if GES comes in with that confidence to just go in for those takes, really just take those sites, it'll be a lot better for them in terms of attacker side, and OGT really need to get that map control. Double initiator, as it has been said, means you gotta start making those fights happen.
Yep, you gotta make those fight happens. You gotta play as aggressively as you can. I think that's really important for both of these teams to really recognize how exactly the momentum is in their hands. As we know, Fracture can be very momentum heavy, and it's very, very important to get that round chaining in their hands. Regardless, second half coming through here as I pass back the mic over to Tayrar as well as Zach.
Welcome, welcome, welcome back. First half is done. The panel has talked, and like we said here, Zach, it's gonna be a double innie they're looking at. And in the attack, this is what I was also talking about earlier and wanted to expound on. They wanted to make use, or you want to make use of that fast stakes or fast rotations that you can actually make from a Neon. But nevertheless, on the default, or rather on the defense, it's also doable.
Go, go, go!
For sure, like Fracture is a map that you really want to get that kind of early information. Try to play off the back of that. And right now, the early information is going to be towards this A side. It does seem like, sorry, B side Orangutan, they've kind of given up the side there, instead opting to hold on to this arcade control. Meow 16k trying to spot the jumping. In fact, will be able to get one player commit the paint shells to do a little bit of damage, so it's not going to have as much impact as expected. In the meantime, on the opposite side, Haife will be able to find one of her own, taking on Casper. That's going to be no smokes available for this retake. Meow 16k is also called in the cavalry here, the backup available right now. The trades though still going in favor of these players from Orangutan as Chloe finds not one but two. It's gonna come down to these two remaining ones towards the main. Haife finding one, Fury finding another, and it's all down to just a killjoy. Chloe with the spray attempt does a lot of damage to Curie, but now the defuse has to come through. Gets half of the spike, is ready for the peak, and will get 4k on the round and the pistol for Orangutan. Chloe looking so good today, Terror. Like, just
Such a
phenomenal
good
work.
read. Yeah, exactly, Zach. She has good reads, and aside from that, really good spray downs. Yet again, Chloe really finding value in this rounds where you just have so much less, you know? And she makes it work each and every time. Not only that, the timing of just half defusing was very essential here for the team of OGT, really taking off that pressure into trying to defuse the spike. And not only that, as soon as she half the spike, she knew she has to let go and get the kill. 8-5 it is. Orangutan so far working their way on this defense. Very, very scary start, I would say. It still ended up in a 1v1 on a pistol.
Yeah, it really came down to just Chloe being able to convert that final kill. Chloe, in fact, like we mentioned, has been phenomenal over the course of this map. 23 kills so far, 24, 25. Okay, Chloe, I get it. I get your point. Really insane. Looking for even more right now. Still staying alive somehow before Rose finally shuts her down. Rose, it's all down to just the IGL, the captain. Like I think Tash mentioned, one of the doctors in this particular scene. It has to be clinical coming out of her to be able to clutch this up. The spike not in her control. Her position noted as well, and now goes for that first peek. Gets spotted out by Capricious. Knows there are at least two players there as she tries to isolate these fights. But with 29 HP, I'm not sure how much more Rose can really do here. This was a force coming out of G as well, and Japeeps will be able to clean house. Orangutan, they find in 9, and once again, just monstrous hold coming out of Chloe on that Sentinel. 25 kills.
It's a good anchor, I would say. Not only that, if you can actually see this replay as well, the flash just perfectly settling into the eyes of the players of Global Esports Phoenix. After that flash, she knew she needed to swing and get the kill. Aside from that, she was able to pop her nano swarms anyway to really not let them go in onto the side. 9-5 here. GE on a timeout though. They have to figure out, go back to the drawing board, find a footing when it comes to this attacking side, and knowing that they also wouldn't have money in their pockets and in the economy wise, not looking good so far. But we all know from yesterday's match, the players of G can really pop heads with sheriffs. I've seen Muffin Loop go crazy on that sheriff.
I've seen all of these players individually go crazy on that sheriff. Like we just saw Hyphay last half. Sure, she didn't get the round, but she got 4 kills off the back of that. So I think that despite it being an eco on G, they still have a chance to come back into this. Even if they lose it, it'll be 5-10, which isn't undoable on a map like Fracture where they are set up for attack. What I am worried about right now is Orangutan already being able to have that lockdown online. I think that especially if you're able to maintain arcade control, you're going to be able to get that position to easily retake on that B side with the help of that particular ultimate. On A as well, like 2 reasons that you really want to maintain control of if you are a Killjoy, it's going to be arcade and drop. I think that so far Orangutan, they're kind of playing for a retake setup. They know that they can get these early advantages and try to capitalize off the back of that. Right now, though, like you mentioned, the economy for Global Esports not exactly the greatest. You do have these sheriffs. Hyphay going to be the one leading the charge. We did see some pop-off moments from this particular player the last time around, though it does seem like knowing the threat, Orangutan, they're happy to take it a little bit more patiently and just let GE walk into them.
Again, for Orangutan, after that pistol round, it's going to be their buy round here. And not only that, you said it already. They have capabilities to make a retake happen here quite fast, especially having Chloe getting all those skills and immediately getting those points or orbs to actually have that lockdown ready. Capricious, very aggressive positioning from the defense. So far, Casper was able to pick up on one. The stun settling in. Capricious, she's ready. She knows there's going to be 2 people, and that's going to be the spray down. Capricious with a double yet again for a V1 situation. Muffin Loop as she swings out. She knows this is going to be Capricious yet again for another spray down. Fast and easy take for Orangutan so far, knowing that it was also an eco disadvantage for Global Esports.
Yeah, I mean, this was what we expected. Orangutan, they would be able to win that round just because of the advantage that they had. G doing a little bit of their own damage, though, especially that shot coming out of Hyphay there. Phenomenal work. But I think that at least this round, the one that's coming up next, rather, Global Esports, they have a lot on their shoulders to be able to try and win it. Hyphay also has that lockdown. You might be able to see this come into play. But you know, if you look at the scoreboard overall, it just seems like it's a battle of the Killjoys here. Both Hyphay and Chloe being able to put up those numbers in this particular round. I think that for the side of Global Esports, we do have to see a little bit more being dug in deep. Muffin Loop and Meow16K. We've talked about this dynamic duo before on that Raze stand that KO, they're gonna have to find a little bit more impact. Orangutan, once again, they're happy to kind of give up the side because they know what's coming. They know this lockdown is available for the side of GE, and they're just gonna be playing for a full-on retake, it seems like.
Yeah, like you said, a full-on retake is what we're bound to see here. Not only that, for the players, so right now you can definitely see, like you said, German efficiency at its core for the two Killjoys here. Haifei, aware of the flank right now. She knows there's flashes coming out. This info being sent out to the rest of the GES members, really putting pressure to help out Haifei. And she has good positioning here, just in case. Now again, with the trouble, that's gonna be GES bringing kills to the table. This is 5v2 so far. It's very clean for the side of Global Esports, but they have to move back. They have to get out of this lockdown right now. And now Chloe, again, the Killjoy of the team. The top fragger will go for that to have the fuse. Not gonna be able to make it happen. 4v1, Casper alone. She's gonna go down in the hands of Haifei as well. Zach, we are onto a 6-10 here. It's only just 4 rounds that GE really has to take.
True, and they definitely have the potential to do it because we saw some really great shooting coming out. We talked about the necessary impact that Muffin and Meow would have to have, and Muffin, it's actually hurt me. She was able to go huge there, finding 2 or 3 kills before finally being shut down. I think Kiri was shut down, never mind. But yeah, she manages to hold on to her gun, only 1 away from the null command off the back of that. And Global Esports, they have to kind of try to build the momentum here. They have to be able to take things going forward. They have that orbital strike on Kiri. They're only like 1 away from that null command. A lot of ultimates that they have to work with, but they have to be careful because Capricious, she has managed to invest in that operator. If GE can win this, it's going to be a huge damage done to the side of the economy of Orangutan right now. Zinni, though, goes for a little bit of a shoulder peek. Will be spotting out this player. Muffin Loop has that ultimate online, and I think they might just go for a quick rotate now because they really don't want to contest the site.
Only fought for the orb, I would say. A very important one, if I'm not mistaken. That orb actually gave Muffin Loop the null command as well, adding in to that artillery of utilities that they can have here. And a very slow take. We are looking at Global Esports. Meow onto satellite here, alone, clearing out the angles, making sure it's safe for the rest of GES, especially when it comes to drop. But very, very quiet map that we are looking at here, Zach.
I think neither side wants to risk losing that valuable player early on, though it does seem like Orangutan, they're aware of this possibility of a B push. It's all going to come down to timing. Smoke's being invested as well. Chloe in this corner, going to be that first line of impact. It does get shut down, though. A 1-for-1 trade, though. Meow and Rose both are able to go huge there with that pincer movement across the opposite side of the map. And now side control has been taken. Just 2 players remaining, Capricious as well as Casper here. Capricious armed with that operator as well. You really don't want to lose that with the economy being where it is for OG. If they can't get these immediate picks, they might as well try to hold on to these guns here. Casper has a lot of work to do, but Muffin more than ready for that. Will be able to convert that last kill, and it's all down to just Capricious. So 1v4, the clock ticking, and Capricious is just like, nope, I don't want anything to do with this. I just want my operator. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, GE. You can have the round.
Exactly. I do like this post plan coming in from Global Esports, though, especially making sure no one can really take control of ropes here and have better angles towards the site. Not only that, for GE, the take that we are seeing here, very close cut, but really, really clean, I would say. They were able to still clear out the angles they want to clear out. Not only that, despite the timing from Japeeps on that fault line, they weren't bothered at all. GE, 7-10, and again, taking damage here on the economy is going to be Orangutan, Zach. We might be even seeing a timeout here as they try to plan out and map it out ahead. They only have 1 Bulldog here, and of course 1 Spectre, and the rest is going to be the rifles. And of course, that operator from a while ago. Seems like they don't have, or they haven't found the value yet on that operator as well.
Yeah, they weren't. I think it also comes down to positioning on a map like Fracture, like we talked about, when you do have those 4 lanes where that operator is going to be positioned, and how much they manage to hide is going to be what really comes into play. Orangutan, you know, they kind of banked on that operator towards that side, finding some value, but unfortunately Capricious was a little bit too passive, wasn't able to really get the kills, and of course some really pivotal utility usage coming out of them as well. The null command from Muffin Loop, as well as those flashes and that push coming out of Meow and Rose on that opposite side. I think all of that kind of onslaught rushing at you on the side, you're just not going to be able to react to it in time. Even if you're a Jet or a Chamber, it's difficult to hit those shots, and with Capricious being on that Neon on instead. A little bit of a slow game for her though when Chloe's been popping off the way she has. Understandable. Either way, I think Orangutan, it's just going to come down to timing versus utility usage. If Orangutan, they can get that first kill and successfully fall back as well, it's going to be what they need. But Capricious, so far, doesn't seem to be getting very lucky.
You cannot discount the space that Capricious can take, though, the distraction, especially when she's on a fast lane or even just running around the entirety of the map. But look at this, it's going to be a 4-man push onto Satellite. It's going to be Muffin Loop taking the first kill here.
Wow.
Too much damage coming in from utility play. Good execution from GES. They were able to clear out the angles here, but not yet going forward and going forward onto side. They still have to make sure no one is on side here. But of course, Orangutan very much aware. Muffin Loop really making a play here onto the side. Hi-Fei planting the spike right now. Zach is going to be the post man coming in from the 5 players of GE.
Yeah, I think this is another safe call. It has to be coming out of OG. Not much that he can really do here, especially with Muffin getting those 3 kills without taking a single bit of damage. It is going to be 1 player flashed out, although Hi-Fei is ready with the backup. It is all down to just Capricious once again. Now they know that that operator is online GE. They have the additional money to work with. They're going to be going for a little bit of a hunt here. 11 HP and a Dream left on her right now. Capricious was able to get that first kill. Running for dear life, but Meow16K, you don't kill her friend. She's not going to let you get away with that. And OG, they get to 8 here, looking unstoppable. Remember, that was a force coming out of OG. They invested everything they had, and now they're going to be on a lighter buy. So, gee, they have the chance to actually equalize.
They wanted to invest that much, especially after saving that operator as well, Zach. You want to make it valuable. Not only that, you want the other or the rest of your teammates to actually have the same buy as you, so you can actually capitalize on it as well. Fortunately, again, it's not working out when it comes to that operator, and Capricious, very difficult to make a retake happen when you have an operator and you're completely in a different side. A brand new round is what we have though, and so far, Global Esports, they're making a comeback happen.
8 to 10, and this is the round. If OG can somehow steal it away, it's going to be what might break GE's spine here. But Global Esports, they don't want another Thrifty to happen to them. They've already dealt with that experience before. It's not very fun. And again, just really patient play coming out of them. They don't want to make mistakes. Kyria will spot out at least 1 player towards his drop area, looking to re-aggress, but overall, just going to be a bit of a default coming out of Global Esports. They're waiting for a mistake to be committed by Orangutan to punish them for it like they have over the course of these last couple of rounds. But Orangutan, they know that this closer combat favors them with the kind of weapons they have. I see 3 stingers, and honestly, I think that must just be some trauma for G if they're not careful. Gotta be some PTSD kicking in if they decide to just go and rush it in. Luckily though, that doesn't seem to be the case, and again, look at this. Muffin Loop used the null command 2 rounds ago. She already has it back, only like
She's
1 away.
been doing some Farmville here and there, I would say.
30
Farming some
seconds left.
orbs, you know, like, not a problem. There's so many orbs in this map. Why not utilize it, right? She's doing it great. And so far, it's been working out for her. Only 1 kill, nor 1 orb, just to take that null command. But this is going to be the entry, as Chloe was able to shut down one. Meow is still alive. Capricious go overdrive and play here. Managed to pin down 1. But actually, it's still too much for her. 3v1 situation. It's going to be 9 to 10. GE really paving their way here, slow, calm, collected, and they want to really make a comeback happen, especially on in a way, Zach, if you think about it, they had the guns, they have better guns here, they know they can execute, but at the same time, really respecting that it might be shotguns waiting for them, it might be a push waiting for them as well, you know?
Oh yeah, a really good calls coming out of them. I think that's the biggest thing that Rose can really bring to this team, because as that IGL, you know, you want somebody with steady hands, a steady head on your shoulders, and of course, like I believe Tash mentioned, her having that medical background along with probably the team's coach, the team's founder. You know, it's just a bunch of doctors there kind of cooking up stuff. Talking about what Rose has cooked up though, I think that her being able to really bring that balance to the team, you know, you have these absolute crackers like Muffin Loop and Meow16K willing to get aggressive and go for that kind of push, but you know, you also need to find that balance between just pushing in and being able to work as a team, and I think Rose is able to really give it to the team here.
And so far, like we said, despite not getting kills, or not majority of the kills, even on the previous games that we have, you mentioned it already, Zach, she has a lot of things on her shoulder here. She's the IGL, she has to make a play happen, and aside from that, she also has to initiate the fights here for the rest of the team and help out the team. And so far, you have to give credit where credit's due, despite it's not all about the kills in the end. 9-10. And again, welcome to our Technical Pause podcast, ladies and gents, and everyone in between. To whoever's watching right now, we want to know your thoughts, actually. Please let us know, what team are you supporting? Press 1 if it's Global Esports. Press 2 if it's Orangutan. Press 3 if you both want them to win, even though it's impossible. But yeah!
Press 4 if you want to show a little bit of love to my amazing co-caster, Tara. But back to the game, I don't think it will be Game Changers APAC if it didn't have a technical pause. It's like classic, If it's not there, it's not APAC. Whether it's Game Changers, whether it's APAC in general, if there's no technical pause, it's not APAC. Am I wrong?
I don't know. If it's me, did I bring the curse here in Game Changers? Because honestly, I've been casting VCT for the past 3 years, and it's always with me, Oh well. It is what it is. Like we said, players playing in the comfort of their own homes, and obviously, we cannot really control everything, which is out of our hands. But anyway, this is the perfect opportunity to talk about more about the team here, Zach.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm personally super hyped for both of these rosters because, to me, as somebody from the country, as somebody from India in particular, I think that G Phoenix means a lot to me. I never thought that I would see, an all-female Indian team being able to kind of just blaze it through APAC on their first try. I knew somebody would eventually make it, but for G to be in that top 6 on their first try out of 71 teams, it's super inspiring to me personally. And I played with a lot of these girls before. In fact, Rose was that person who really got me into competitive Valorant. I think that back then I was just a casual player, and she was like, "Hey, we're having a female tournament. Do you want to kind of participate? We're looking for more players to join." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, why not?" And that's kind of how I got into competitive Valorant in the first place. Carrie is an old teammate as well, so it just means a lot to me to be able to see these girls play at this kind of a level. And yeah, Casper as well. Casper's also been an old teammate, so I'm very conflicted. Like Tash said, it's not just an Indian civil war here, but also just an internal civil war. Because as a caster, I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I just want both of these teams to win. I know that's impossible, and it just makes me cry.
Everyone is just being supportive of everyone here, anyways. But honestly, for me, I'm just waiting for Japips to knife someone.
Oh no,
Japips,
Tondo.
Come on, Japips. She messaged me. She was like, "Yeah, just trying to find knife kills here and there when I'm not busy. And then when I am busy, look at what GS doing. Just ziplining throughout the map. They're having their fun, guys. So whatever the technical pause is, it's okay. They're having their fun."
Yeah, they might be able to kind of just relax things up right now. But
yeah, but it's true though. India is a pretty strong region as well. Not only that, the support of the fans coming in, very important for the rest of the team. And I could definitely see that coming in from the Asia Pacific region as well here in the Philippines, Zach. So it's really just nice to see when everyone just supports everyone, So with that, of course, again, send us your support for the teams that we have right here. Global Esports is what we have. And aside from that, Orangutan, send some love. And aside from that, what else can they send us?
They can send us chocolates and some nice coffee for our throats.
That's bribing. Zach, what do you mean?
But I love
it's
chocolate.
Okay, guys. You could just share the stream and we would be so happy already, so happy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop laughing. But back to these two teams here. I think that when it comes down to overall strength, I would say Orangutan, they definitely win on that experience front, because I think that in VCT Game Changers APAC history, they have the record of the greatest ever comeback ever seen. I don't know if you were there for that Terra last year, but they were down 111 on map 1 against X10 Sapphire. Back then they were X10 Sapphire, and they managed to not only win that game 14-12, they were also able to win that entire series. This was a qualification match for Elite. They were able to beat X10 Sapphire 3-0. And I don't think that in over 2022, anybody else was able to kind of do that. Even Alter Ego, they lost a map or two. But at Orangutan, they were like, you know what? This is our slot in Elite. We're taking it. 3-0. I've never seen that before. Huge.
Yeah. You can just never expect what a team can bring to the table, especially when you have a good support coming in from organization. Not only that, but a good support system coming in from coaches as well. And it just goes to show how much the scene is growing, especially here. And I just remember 10 years ago where I was trying to compete and I couldn't find any tournaments for the female scene and female league. It's difficult. And this time around, all year long, we're going to get that. So we've come a long way. And what we can do is really just give on the full support towards not only the organizers, but the teams themselves too.
Yeah, I think both of these rosters as well as their organizations deserve a huge amount of credit. Like for Orangutan, if you think about it, they're one of those first teams to really get them like a boot camp, fly all their players to SG last year so they would be able to compete, and just overall been super supportive of whatever teammates they had. Like you mentioned, Sway on that IGO role had to step down because of exams and stuff, and was able to really like be a part is still part of that organization. They're like a family, over there. And I think that being able to kind of give a roster like this that consists of so many different nationalities a platform to perform together and consistently keep improving, I think that's really phenomenal out of Orangutan. But GE as well, like since we have this huge tech pause to fill, we might as well give the audience the details. GE, they had like, I think this is one of the most transparent ways I've seen a roster be really formed. They opened up open tryouts to the entire country. And in fact, to all of South Asia, they were like, yeah, we're going to try to make a lineup. I think over 100 people participated, 100 women participated from across. Yeah, a lot, exactly. And these are your final 5. And there's also another 6th player who's not playing today, who's called Baila. But overall, they've just managed to kind of, you have these open tryouts. They were streamed online. They were like, measured for not just aim but also comms and everything. And I think overall they just put in a lot of work over the last couple of months to bring this roster together, and the results show, right? Whether they win Open 1 or not, or irrespective of how far they come, they've already made top 6, and I can't think of any team that made top 6 on their first run through this kind of a bracket.
Yeah, and very impressive, like you said already. And very exciting to really see here on the stages we have, not only maybe here in Open 1, up to Open 2, up to all the Opens that we have right here. And if you're watching, especially for the viewers or for our viewers that we have here on Twitch, you never know. You might want to build up a team and try out for Game Changers. Why not? And if you can actually take a look at FSL's Facebook pages, Twitter, you can see how you can register as well. So with that, of course, make sure you're to follow on our social media pages. Just type in FSL. You're going to find everything you need here. And like you mentioned, Zach, while it's, like I said, a technical pause podcast, we're going to talk about really like in depth here with the teams. You know the story behind Global Esports Phoenix, knowing it's also coming in from your region as well. But what I want to say is also I appreciate that the Zinni and Japeeps here really finding an organization as well. As Filipinos, really, it's been difficult for us here to really have that support system, especially on the female scene, and especially seeing them right now really finding their footing here in esports. Not only that, but here in Game Changers, where we go internationally, is a big step. So I'm really happy for all the players that we have, and I hope the game starts soon.
Yeah, I think I'm also running out of things to say, but I like the
Nah,
point.
we're not gonna run out of things to say. Let's take a look at chat. Chat says
I'm not looking at that.
Nah,
I'm not looking at
we
that.
said a while ago, press 1 if you're a supporter of GE, and press 2 if you're a supporter of OGT. A lot of people actually press 3,
They pressed 4 for us. We said 4 for the casters. Some people
4 for the casters? People said 4?
Yeah,
they didn't say 4. Anyway,
they didn't say 4.
Really lots of supporters here for GES. Biggest shout outs to you guys. And at the end of the day, as a player, as a caster as well, we all read your chats and sentiments. So we really like to see the support that you guys have. There's like a little voice inside my head saying something, but I'm not gonna say whatever it is. But technical pause here again. Apologies already, but yet again outside of our control. Especially it's an online qualifiers that we have or online open that we have right here right now, Zach.
I think that talking about this game so far, it's exactly what I wanted to see out of both of these teams. I know that Global Esports, they had a little bit of a slow start at some point. They were down like 5-10, but they're known for making these comebacks, especially I think their main roster as well, the GE from last year, their male roster, they were the same. They always dropped down to the lower bracket, but as soon as they went to the lower bracket, they kind of got this buff coming into them and they were able to just pop off and take it all the way, even win the event. I think that it seems like Phoenix has that little bit of energy as well, heading into it. They dropped to the lower bracket, but they were able to pull off that 2-0 against Siren yesterday, and now against Orangutan, a super experienced team, they're still able to hold their own, which is very impressive to me.
Yep, and with that, guys, thank you and goodbye. No, just kidding. Thank you and goodbye. The game has ended. No, it's not yet done and over with. We are at 9-10. And if you've just tuned in, let me just give a quick recap to you guys. The rounds that we were seeing here, Zach, a while ago, it's just going back and forth. Again, this is just a recap of what just happened if you just tune in. And it just goes to a 2-1. We go to a 4-4 at some point, a 4-2, and then Orangutan comes back a little bit. The economy on a disadvantage on both sides. Both of the teams here really just couldn't find momentum. That to a point, not just the momentum in the game, but momentum when it comes to money and economy.
I think that overall, economy-wise, I think Orangutan, they've been able to do just a little bit better because they were the only team that was able to afford an operator at all over the course of this entire map. But more than that, it just comes down to them being able to really make these Thrifty rounds super doable. Global as well, they were able to get a couple of kills, but I think Orangutan, they were able to actually convert them off the back of Chloe with some magical stinger action. However, though, I think this next round that we're going to be heading into it while we wait for this tech pause, it's going to really decide the fate of the game here because Global Esports, they have a little bit of an advantage when it comes down to rifle and economic buffer as well. That showstopper on BL16K might be something to watch out for, but 9-10, if they win this, they're going to be able to equalize, once again, put Orangutan in a rough spot economically and try to push forward off the back of that. But OGT, they've had this tech pause kind of,
the tech
thank
pause
God.
is out!
It's gone.
Zach, my
It's gone.
heart! Oh, there's
free.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, guys. It's blinding me, but anyway, the tech pause is gone.
I think that's a breach flash.
I think that was a breach flash or something, or I got nullified by a KO. But anyway, we're back into the game, 9-10, and I hope we see it go through. Now we are looking at rounds here, or round number 20, Zach. Utility-wise, we have a showstopper in the hands of GE and a rolling thunder for Orangutan.
Yeah, one ultimate on either side right now, though. It does seem like GE, after that kind of pause that we had coming in, they're looking to play just a little bit more faster. You see that early flash coming out, Meow16K looking for a pick. In fact, will be going all the way in off the back of the stun, trying to get the kill, but Zinni, despite being concussed, will still convert and get a headshot onto Meow. Huge kill coming out, and that's going to give her the null command as well, if it's necessary. Goes for the flash swing, though the trades are going to be quick and in favor of GE. Muffin Loop still, in fact, being able to pop off here and getting these crucial kills off the back of the G at the side. But already Capricious is going to be on the flank here. Rolling Thunder invested. These players going to be barely getting away to safety. Still a 2v2 though. Chapeeps and Capricious versus Muffin and Rose. It does seem like Capricious has the lead. Tries to find the kills. Oh, it's all down to just Muffin.
She knows when to get out of that situation as well. Capricious knows exactly where Rose may be. And aside from that, the crossfire had been set up here. Fault line to be used, maybe connecting to both of them. Not at all to Japeeps though. But she was able to take on a kill. This is still a 1v1. Doable for both sides of the team. 13 seconds remaining. The pressure is on Capricious. Oh my god, both of them lost bullets. My god, it's still a clutch. Global Esports. The fact that the spike is not planted, Zach. The pressure was there already for GE.
Oh god, I had a little bit of a heart attack there when that reload kicked in for both of these players, but I think that's just a little bit of a misplay coming out of Capricious. Gets a little bit confident, tries to go in for the wide swing, but no bullets, no kill, and it is going to be Rose making that switch a bit faster, clutching it out, the IGL 1v2.
Hey. Let me just reload for a bit, okay? And then we can swing again. Exactly that's what happened. Top tier analysis. But anyway, again, despite the pressure against GE here, they still made it work. Someone still trying to survive along the ropes. It says it's gonna be Rose going down though. And a null command here being set upon already, being used as Muffin Loop plants the spike.
Go around for the side of OG, but like you mentioned already, they have a little bit of an advantage. Muffin trying to take this close quarter combat, but the Sheriff will come out on top. Curie finally trying to equalize here. Trade still going significantly in favor of Orangutan, as it does seem like the Thrifty might be the one they convert. It's all down to just Hype. He does have that lockdown available, but has to somehow try to find out this 1v3. Only able to find the first Orangutan in that furious fast round. They managed to get it done again with the Thrifty. I think so far when it comes to Thrifty, it takes Orangutan or 2 for 3.
Again, if you lose that initiator, especially a breach here, makes it a little bit more difficult to set up a site. So many utility plays comes from a breach here, from fault lines that you use to actually help go put pressure on site, up to the aftershock that you can use onto post plants. He lost a lot here. The initial pick was really big for Orangutan. Now 11 to 10 though. It's still a volleyball rally we're looking at, but look at this. GE, they have a lockdown, they have a showstopper.
Yeah, Orangutan still in the lead. Economy as well back in their favor right now, but like you mentioned, the ultimate economy, at least for GE, looking just a little bit better. GE always likes to keep us on the edge of our seats here. Once again, it does seem like that flank is going to be coming in pretty quick towards this drop area this time. Rose, aware of the possibility, does have the read, and it does seem like they are going to be, after making a little bit of noise, probably just looking to hold on to this site. This time around, the lockdown is going to be invested to make sure they get site control for free. It does seem like it's going to work out. Chloe doesn't exactly have that counter either, still one away from it, so Orangutan, they're happy to try to go in for this full 5-on-5 retake if necessary. Already, just a repositioning coming out of Hyphae to be able to watch this flank. Really nice play.
Spike planted.
Really preparing for that post plant already, I would say. With aftershock coming in, this will force out Chloe out of position, but still managed to pick up 1 kill. With the help of the smoke, despite that, she still managed to pick it up. The peeps to help her around. They're clearing out Arcade here, and for Global Esports, there's a lot of pressure, especially Muffin Loop is already down here. Halfway done is the spike. Chloe yet again making damage here onto the side. A lineup from Kiri makes a kill here, but it's still a 3v2. Kiri yet again to get another kill here. Orbital strike being used. It's all up to her to make this post plan happen. It's still not enough though. Capricious to go down. The spike, it will reach though. The defuse is there. Orangutan almost as if they're gonna get fried there.
Match point.
2 HP. That was all Japeeps had on her. 2 HP and 1 second on the spike left. That round really went down to the wire. But yeah, I think right off the bat, Chloe being able to get these 2 huge kills, I think that was really what got them that round. Of course, a little bit of a misplay from Capricious. Excessive celebration.
It's all part of the plan. What do you
They have the
mean?
money anyway. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan. She really planned that out. She wanted to die inside the orbital strike. But anyway, again, that is still a loss towards economy side of Orangutan. But now they're on to a match point. At least securing either can be a win or an overtime, to say the least.
Yeah, G need 2 more for overtime. Still have the economy to work with, so at least that's going to be a little bit of a sigh of relief. But right now, this confrontation on this B side hasn't been working out for them so far. They do look like they want to go for the A split instead. That has found them value in the fast. It's going to be the Spike and 3 players making their way towards this drop area of the map, as Hyphae towards main looks for a little bit more value. You also do see Kiri taking the zipline towards drop once again to be able to try and make it. Hyphae though is going to be that kind of lurk coming in, already getting spotted out by the player and possibly pushed upon as well. Capricious hungry for this kill here. The flash as well as the stun are impeccable, and the first kill will be going in favor of Orangutan. Although on the opposite side, they are looking to get a bit aggressive. Meow with the showstopper, finding that huge kill. Casper being down. There's going to be no more smokes available for this retake here. 4v4.
Still 4v4, like you said. They have a lockdown to play around with. Chloe making waves yet again. Overdrive already online. Capricious to take on 1. Kiri buffed the spike site, but still managed to pick up on the kill. This is a 2v1 situation. Zinni, though, making things a 1v1, was able to pick up a Vandal here. A little bit of an upgrade. And that's wing back! And still Meow winning the shot. 12 to 11. We might be seeing an overtime here, Zach.
I only have like
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you consider the economy more the side of Orangutan, it's not at the greatest spot. GE though still have quite a bit to work with, at least on that front. And despite you see all of these ultimates being committed by Orangutan, the overdrive, as well as I believe it was something else I forgot, but nevertheless they aren't able to win the round. Meow 16K with the off angle, just ready for the headshot. She gets 3 kills and doesn't even take a single bit of damage. That's just classic Meow 16K. Right now though, for the side of GE, you are seeing an overall team effort kind of arcing through here. Every single player being able to pull their weight for both of these teams, in fact, and I think that's testament to why exactly the score is 11-12 right now. GE one away from taking it to overtime. They don't have any ultimates left to work with, and that might just be a small issue here, despite the gun advantage.
Yeah, it might be an issue, but yet again, you have other utility plays that you can still use here. And for GE, they have been winning rounds that seems to be or looks impossible. They still managed to pick it up. So you just can never know, especially this is a do or die situation for GES. They might start off making noise here onto the site, starting with the pain shields. Maybe thinking there's someone behind. There's gonna be 2 onto top here to the upper side. This Roomba will actually detect them. Might go for the swing. Meow to take the first kill here. 45 HP for her. Just be careful. But other than that, the other players for GE are making some waves as well. 3v2 situation. Carry yet again. They're showing off to the plate, but Zinni to stop her to her toes. 2v1. It's all up to Zinni to make it work and to make it happen. Is it going to be game 1 or is it going to be overtime?
Numbers advantage in favor right now of the side of Global Esports, but both players are going to be tagged up incredibly low. Ginny still with a decent amount of HP to work with. Rose should be able to get the plants. No ultimates online for either player. And right now, Haifei has to find the timing. Here it goes with a nanoswarm in her arm. Still managing to stay alive. It is going to be the 1v1 isolated. Zinni finds the first, sees the head of Rose, but Rose thankfully gets the headshot. We're heading into overtime. Map number 1, it's going all the way.
Switching
Zach,
sides.
really?
Overtime.
While you were casting, my reaction was like, oh, it's happening! Who's gonna get the kill? But in the end, again, for GES here, they made it happen. Zinni not connecting those the shots from the pixel angle onto the headshot here from Rose instead. What a shot! What a round that we have. First overtime of the day.
First
See,
game of the day
I'm this
too.
lucky.
We are this lucky. Don't worry. We're bringing the double energy.
Good games and good life.
Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack by the time I'm 30
No,
if these
please
games keep
don't.
going this way.
I'm gonna lose it on your caster. Don't. Chill out, Zach. Calm down. Meow. Aggressive positioning here on the defense, Zach. Oh, she managed to take out 2! But then again, 2-1 trade from Orangutan. Making things a little bit, or changing up the pacing here. OGT, they want to clear out angles. Gotcha. What? The flash settles in, but Casper will still manage, or would still get that kill.
Huge trade coming out of Casper. That's going to equalize things back down to a 3v3. And if you look at who is alive, it's going to be a mirror for both of these teams here. Early on, though, it does seem like A-side is looking open for business. 2 GE players towards the CT angle, kind of watching Rose versus Chloe. If Rose can get this kill, it might be what they need to really make it work. The flash will, of course, give Chloe a little bit of additional information to try and work with. As the rest of the team kind of go towards site, they will be able to get the spike down here. Japeeps getting it down. No ultimates online quite yet for either side, as the kills haven't materialized, but now GE, they're in this kind of retake position. Japeeps gonna be trying to hold this crossfire on site with Casper being pushed into the corner by the molly, but it misses, so Japeeps is gonna be very comfortable.
Damn. Don't know what kind of necklace Japeeps is wearing here, but she got lucky there. Might not be able to spot it out, but look at this. They know which angles to take. GE knows where the location might be from the side of Orangutan. Clean cut. Sealed and delivered. Coming in from Global Esports Phoenix here. A 1-round advantage, making it to a match point, Zach. They only need one more round here, and they want to make this offense work this time.
Yeah, of course, it started off with Meow 16K opening up with 2 kills. Of course, Casper was able to equalize, but nevertheless, just that precision coming out of GE. You know, all of these 3 players remaining, they were able to just play off of each other. The fact that they still bothered to check that corner for jump peeps, even despite the volley going down, just a testament that GE, they're prepared for these kind of retake situations, and now they're at match point on map number 1. All they have to do is convert this attacking round, which they've had considerable success, let's just say, doing so far. Right now, though, it does seem like Rose once again holding down for a flank push, will be spotted out, sees 3 players, and has some backup from Meow to be able to get that first kill.
Double trouble yet again. Brought to you by Meow and Bros. Now a hit and run, and they go back. They respect that there's gonna be people here on the site ready to take the trade and repositioning themselves. Again, Muffin Loop here might find or might spot out Casper. Or not at all, especially Casper really just waiting patiently if someone goes around Arcade here. Quiet map is what we have. 57 seconds to make a play.
Zee and Casper will both being able to find one each. Absolutely huge. Meow, though, gets the third, has the showstopper online as well, and now Meow 60K on fire, looking for the ace, spots the head, gets the fourth, and it is looking like GE. They're going to be able to take this map. It's all down to just Jip Peeps already. The Boombot and the Nanoswarm doing absolute havoc, and Hyphay through the smoke will clean things up. GE, they take map number 1, their own pick, 14-12. Orangutan made it close. And if this is any testament of what the potential that the series has, Tara, I think we're in for a hell of a day.
Esports Phoenix paving their way, really, especially here in this match. A good rally when it comes to the points, I would say, but none other than that. You can see that when it is important, when it is impactful, that's the time that Global Esports Phoenix really steps up to the table here. We've seen phenomenal shots coming in from Hyphay. We've seen shots from Muffin Loop, and you just see how they grow as a team along the days that we are looking at. More trades happening. They're really prepared to take on sites and make retakes happen as well, and especially against a team like Orangutan, it's a very, very good win, I would say. Impressive.
Really strong performance. And you know, GE, they were behind in that first half, but they took those 2 timeouts. They were able to make that comeback. They were down 5 and 10, and they win 14-12. I think that right now, though, we've talked enough. I think, especially with that technical pause, our entire audience has heard us talk enough. Let's toss it back to our wonderful panelists. They gotta break this game down.
Tayror and Zach, thank you very much for the amazing casting for the extremely back and forth game. Tash Money here alongside Trix. We are your panelists, and let's talk a little bit about GE versus Orangutan. That was the first map on Fracture, and I think when we talk about that map in particular, Trix, how would you describe that match actually?
It was clean at the first start of the second half, I would say, and it started to get a little unclean on both sides. We could see both of them were trying to refrag together. We could see that they were trying to take more information, but it seemed that it was just a little difficult on both sides in terms of what they could do and what they wanted to do.
Yeah, but let's have a look at a score here, and this would rather paint a better photo here. I mean, if you look at the first half of the game, I think what's really important to talk about is Chloe TTW, and I think that she has been phenomenal. We talked about her in the second half, how she's able to not only frag out, but also frag out in thrifty situations, whether it be a stinger, a frenzy, or even a vandal. She makes it work. But when it comes to the other side of the coin, Meow 16K, I remember she tweeted out the other day after her first match during the tournament. She said that she wasn't playing well and she was going to try again, and she is just doing so very well. So let's talk a little bit about the dynamics between these two teams. In the first half, OGT changed so many rounds in a row. What happened in the second half?
The second half, they just weren't playing aggressive. Like we talked about this in the halftime, that if you're on the defender side even, you need to be going aggressive with that double initiator. You want to try and take more space. It just felt that OGT started getting concerned and doubting themselves as well. They have some insane fraggers on their lineup, but they just weren't taking the space that they needed to take. There was one round, especially when Breach had the ultimate, it was down to a 2v1. I think Breach and Neon against another Breach. Was it a Brimstone?
I think it was a Brimstone.
I know that they used the ultimate, and I called this as well, saying if they take A main, they can easily retake B. But the issue there was OGT kind of overextended on that retake. They were taking fights they didn't have to take, and ultimately lost the 1v2.
I think what's really interesting as well is their composition and dynamics. We talked about the double initiator here coming in from Orangutan. I think we had this conversation earlier that Orangutan's biggest problem here is that they want to run this double initiator, but they weren't as proactive. Yes, they're proactive on the first half. Not too sure what happened to second. Not sure whether it was a confidence issue or was it just their strats that is not able to be executed properly.
I think it also has to do with the fact that there were times where they just weren't picking the right side in terms of looking at the economy that the opponent has, looking at also what utility they have available, and figuring out how to play around that. I find that's the most difficult thing about playing Fracture, is it's a lot of awareness in terms of the positioning and the utility that the opponents are going to use against you.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think we talked about the economy as well as aggression. Look at where Meow 16K positioned herself. They are very confident to put herself in these very dangerous situations because they are very okay with their firepower to get at least 2 tags before they finally go down. The idea that is that you can get those picks and then finally give some space to your teammates have been phenomenal for them, and I'm not seeing this confidence on Orangutan.
Yeah, Orangutan just seem to be just falling a little bit behind there in terms of really get that confidence. We've seen them pull off some amazing shots, some amazing plays, but Meow 16K doing a fantastic job. The way that she would also isolate her duels when she was on the back foot just showed to me what a great duelist she is.
Yeah, okay, so now talking about GE, remember how we talked about the storyline where GE has very persistive and as well as very surgical sort of gameplay and strats in terms of gameplay. Do you think that it applies on this map in particular because of their surgical strats and gameplay? Is that why they're able to take up space and hold it compared to Orangutan, who's a little bit more loose?
I think that discipline definitely helped them in that map. We could see that they would take initial space and then they'd wait for their teammates. Near the end, especially when they were hitting that overtime part, is that you could definitely see they were starting to struggle in terms of patience and discipline.
Yeah, patience and discipline. Perhaps Ansin has no clue what's going on because this is not their map pick. This is GE's map pick. After this, going to Haven, Orangutan's map pick after the break, so do not go anywhere.
We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Get money. Get money.
Sorry about that. Let me do that again. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a VCT Game Changers Asia Pacific Series 2023. I'm Tash, putting alongside Trix. And we are your panelists for today. Now, we just saw the first map of the Indian Civil War, Orangutan and GE going back and forth on Fracture, where it was an overtime, but ultimately GE took the map.
I can't wait to see them on the next map. But yes, the fracture map in particular, I felt there was just some struggles in terms of deciding where they wanted to go, understanding their utility, really taking the lead that they needed to take. GE just also able to utilize on their attacker side, especially. I feel that fracture is more attacker sided, but they showed so much discipline there in terms of taking pressure, making space, denying utility from the side of OGT. But we do have Haven coming up, and that's always exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's also a map that Orangutan has been very, very comfortable in. We saw Orangutan play that map against RRQ Kaguya yesterday, and they had one of the strongest showings yet, coming forward, taking up space, and the aggression was just unable to be stopped by RRQ Kaguya. Now, on the flip side, we saw a different sort of showing from GE on that particular map against, I think it was Go Cyrene. And I think that's what's really important about this map in particular is the step up. No, they lost on this map. Sorry. GE has actually lost on this map. And I think that from these kind of situations, I've always wondered, like, say, whenever someone loses on that map and then suddenly the enemy team picks it, there's always this possibility that the team that lost on that map will have learned a lot, will have kind of fixed what they have to fix overnight. But as a coach, Trix, what do you think?
I think that it's always important for teams to look at themselves critically, especially if they lose a map. You want to think about why you lost. You want to think about what the opponents were doing well and how you can improve. So I do find that sometimes it's nice when you get picked on a map that you had lost previously, because it's a chance for the team to also show that they can improve on the fly. The question, however, is will GE improve enough on the fly in order to take a team like OGT that we have seen to have just some insane aim duels. They have great lurks. We've seen them lurk before and are really able to pinch people, although it was definitely lacking on the Fracture map.
Yeah, I think that what's really good about Orangutan on this map in particular is not just about the idea that they're able to play on the three-side map. The fact is they're able to take up so much space. The map is a lot bigger, and we understand that in terms of retakes, they're not afraid to go for those long lurks. We've seen Casper go for those lurks on lurks. When you think about it, their timing has been always so phenomenal. And this is, I think for Orangutan, this is a showing of what exactly a really, really good, I would say, a really, really good team who's very familiar with the map looks like. But on the flip side here from Global Esports in their performance on Fracture, what do you think they can bring into the second map?
I think coming into the second map, I hope that they bring in the discipline that they showed us in Fracture. They take the duels with each other, making sure to have that refrag, getting the space that they need to get. As we see here, they have the Jet with the breach. That means they can go for those explosive plays. And both teams are actually having a mirror lineup right now, so I'm not really sure exactly which side it's going to flip. But if G pulls through with the way they were performing on Fracture, I do think they have a great shot at a map like Haven, which also requires you to play with your teammates.
Yep, but for now, we are going to be going into our second map of the day. Will it be a 2-0 where Orangutan goes home, or will we be going all the way to Icebox is the question. For now, I'm going to be passing the mic over to our casters, Tayrar and Zach. Take it away, ladies.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that breakdown on that panel. Always a pleasure to hear Trix and Hash pop off. Trix, of course, coming in with that pro background like we mentioned, but now it's us casters back for the day. It's me, Zach, and with me here is the wonderful, the gorgeous, the one and only Tayrar.
Whoa! Careful, still might message us yet again. Shoutouts to our production, by the way, really doing a great job here. But like you said, Zach, we are on to the second map that we have, and this time it's gonna be a pick coming in from Orangutan. And if I'm not mistaken, we already saw the agent picks here, and again, this is gonna be Haven, a map where you have or you really shine, especially when you have good retake capabilities.
Yeah, that's for sure. And on a map like Haven, I think that it's also like our panel mentioned, it comes down to map control here, especially if you are going to be on that defense, because you want to get that early kind of information aggression, kind of take control of one side of the map, push out a little bit, make sure that there's nobody going to be there, get a pick if you can. But this also has the potential to backfire, because if you get a little bit too aggressive, you lose a player off bat, your defense is going to be looking so much more shaky, because this is one of those 2-3 map sites here. It feels so nice to be able to say 2-3 map sites because Lotus came in, but I digress.
Do you think there's going to be 4 sites at some point, Zach?
Don't say it, Sarah. Already, like, Fracture gives me nightmares.
Make it more difficult for the defense, right? Why not make the lives harder?
I'm rotating to D.
Exactly. I'm rotating to E. That's too many. That's too much for all the players for a 5v5. But anyway, we are on to the pistol here. Capricious already opening up the site for the rest of the team. No one really to find on B here as they completely leave it open, but you have to be really wary. There's still some traps set upon them, but a spike completely planted right now. It's about to post plans for OGT, but pistol rounds. Again, Zach, anything can go away or like go around this.
Ready, Meow 16K. Finding that first one, though, Japip's looking for that flank. Tries to get more. In fact, though, it's going to be Carry. Finding that kill, though, does get taken to 5 HP. IFA getting that second one as well. Capricious is going to be that last line of defense here. That stun is going to be impeccable right now. And it's all down to this one remaining player. Chloe versus the world. Unfortunately, 3 players is a little bit too much for even Chloe to handle. And it is going to be GES finding that defuse successfully. Okay, Meow, don't give us anxiety. Get the defuse. Thank you so much. And Global, they take the pistol.
It's okay. 3.42 seconds remaining in esports time. Zach, you could still play one game over that. Anyway, 1-0 is the score here as Global Esports settles the pistol round as well. A good start for them, I would say. Especially you want to make the initial momentum here for a map that has been chosen by Orangutan as well. And like you said, good timing on the stunts as well. For GE, they don't mind. It's a triple site. Again, they have a killjoy here that they can put traps in. And like I said a while ago and I mentioned, it's a map where if you have good retake capabilities, you could just leave one site open for the retake.
Indeed. That's what they did as well. They were kind of happy to just go in for that BDP retake, knowing that they could find some damage. Right now, though, it does seem like GE, they're going for a little bit of aggression. doing a bit of damage. Kiri, in fact, finding a kill, though eventually will be taken down thanks to that gravity ball coming in on that Astra. That's going to be a Bulldog dropped. I don't know if G can quite pick it up quite yet. It might be making things just a little bit difficult. Either way, though, Kiri did quite a bit of damage if you look at Chloe's HP as well. So things looking just a little bit rough for them. They're still looking to aggress onto this A side. It does seem that Bulldog has been picked up as well by Muffin Loop, so no harm done at all, considering that it was just that one gun being dropped that might have been an issue.
Exactly, but look at this. 3-man push onto A. Completely shut down here by Rose. Again, the fault line. Trying to make it connect, but this is going to be a double trouble yet again on the side. Muffin Loop to take on the kill. 2-0. Global Esports. Very clean round. Only one person getting killed here, and at least that would make it a little bit safer when it comes to the economy. Not only that, for the side of OGT here, Zach, you have to give it. This is just the initial 2 rounds. Again, this is the start. This is the buy round.
Exactly, they're going to be having rifles across the board, full utility as well. Although neither team has quite managed to charge up these ultimates yet. I think that what I'm most terrified for the side of OG is this Bucky coming in out of Haife. I really feel like they don't want to go towards that area of the map. When you have these rifles, it is good to try and go for these longer line of sights. Caprice is already being spotted out by that early recon coming out of the Sova for the side of GE. Still though, they are going to be playing patiently. Muffin Loop already taking up an extremely aggressive position towards this mid area. Might make or break things if they go their way.
Not only that, there's no one really to trade her here. It's a one and done position, I would say, especially if someone spots her out or there's too much pressure.
Yeah.
But maybe she catches someone here. Again, Muffin Loop. Like I said, it is a one and done position. No one really to trade about. And with that, you have to get away, or rather, you have one man down on your team, and that's going to be Muffin Loop, which is also very, very critical to the team or to the rest of the team, as she always almost hits her shots here. OGT going in onto the side, starting off with a tailwind here, but a fault line to answer back. Chloe really playing out on the utility here, especially with the help of the recon. Capricious clearing out the back side. A very fast stay coming in from Orangutan, but Kiri answers back with a shot to the head. One more time, Kiri. She still has 2 shock darts here, Zach.
Yeah, a 1v5 retake, now a 1v4. At this point, if Kiri can take a couple of guns online, it's still going to be a great round for Global Esports, because it was their eco round kicking into this particular one. Kiri already having found that first pick onto Capricious is huge. One Vandal going to be dropped away. It does seem like the OG players are on the hunt though. Kiri is going to be hearing all of this, and Chloe happy to swing through with that weapon advantage, getting that final kill. 3 on the round for the Killjoy and Orangutan. They find their first Global Esports though. They're finally going to be able to have enough money, not only to full buy, but also get Muffin Loop on that operator. And you know, Muffin Loop, she's one of those players where if you give her a little bit of space, she's going to take it all the way. We already saw the kind of shots she was hitting in that last game on that KO. And let me tell you, she started off as a duelist. So on this chat with that operator, I'm extremely excited to see what kind of damage she's going to be pulling up with.
Yeah, especially you're on the defense as well, and having an operator in your hand, very valuable in this positioning, as we can see, and especially the movements of a Jet here. She can immediately reposition herself as well, making it more making it more difficult for OGT. First shot hits. That's gonna be Capricious out. Good pick off coming in from GES here to start off the round.
This bomb grenade out.
Really good start. Like you mentioned, with Capricious off, it's going to be much more difficult for them to take up space. Now they're going to be forced to kind of go into this close quarter combat. Haife getting that early information, not getting taken down either, is huge right now. And Muffin still playing aggressively towards mid, looking for a little bit more. I think at this point, Orangutan, they've decided that, yeah, this mid area looks a little bit too difficult for their taste. Looking to go towards that A side instead, where it is just going to be one player, Kiri, on that Sova, trying to anchor it down. Early recon finding that information though, and off the back of that Kiri, she might be able to buy enough time for the rest of the team to kind of rotate in. Muffin's already here.
No info is info, and as soon as they kill that recon dart, that gives info that there's going to be a lobby now for them to take. It's going to be a fast A here, but with the smoke, it's going to be Kiri waiting patiently. Just 1-to-1, as we can see. It's still a 4v3. Again, the operator is still in play here onto a Jet. Let's see if she can still find value in this retake, as Chloe is already setting up for that post plan. They have to smoke heaven here. It's very risky right now for Orangutan. There goes the smoke. Just perfect timing. Muffin Loop still having a hard time getting a grip of the situation here. They're really waiting for the perfect timing to go in onto the side as the pull settles in. That's gonna be high fade caught in the middle. A good execution yet again. Pulse plan here. Meow! To take on the kill onto danger. It's still a 2v1. This operator, Zach, she's already tagged here. The peeps. She knows she can do the shock darts. It connects. No, it doesn't. But this gives the round to Orangutan already.
Yeah, despite those two initial picks, it does seem like Orangutan, they're gonna be able to run away with it. And well, for the side of Muffin, at least she has to go in for a save. I saw Muffin kind of seeing Japita's head there. I don't know if she didn't want to take the shot because she was worried it would miss or wanted to see if she could find some more information. But either way, that might have been the mistake that really cost GE this particular round. Because off the back of that, this crossfire that was being held between Chloe and Casper, just beautiful work coming out of them. I feel like when it comes down to Astro players, Casper is definitely one of the strongest ones out there.
Yep.
Really a fan favorite for a reason. And that round, despite it being a 3v4, that's exactly why.
She knows how to play out with the utilities. We've seen in another round, I'm not sure what round it was, but it was the round where there was literally a 2v1 situation. It was a pistol from Global Esports, and they used to put in a smoke, but not actual smoke. And it was a fake smoke that they picked up. And because it was a pickup smoke, obviously it would dissipate just as quick as it can be, or it can dissipate. And because of that, GE got shocked as well that smoke went away and they were able to take on the kill. Again, especially in an Astra, especially you have global control here. You can either pull, concuss, not even that. You can even try to not let someone defuse as soon as you pull. So really a lot of viable options here for Orangutan. Not only that, for Global Esports as well. You just have to play out these utilities, I would say.
Right now, though, economy not in the greatest spot for these players from Global Esports. They still have that operator on Muffin Loop that was saved, but aside from that, it's going to be with Bucky, Stinger, pistols across the board. They also don't have any real ultimates with the exception of that one Hunter's Fury from Curie. Talking about ultimates, though, right now it's going to be Capricious starting things off, trying to lead the charge here. The dash, though, does make things a little bit more difficult, getting a lot of damage, but Chloe in the end will find that kill. Muffin Loop was still able to just do some absolute damage before finally being shut down. Now, unfortunately, Capricious will be able to pick up that operator. 4 players still alive for the side of Orangutan. 3 for GE to somehow try and make this retake work. And again, Orangutan, look at the map control. They have not only site, but also garage.
This operator. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a double kill. Just one bullet is all she needs. Especially, you don't have armors here or barely having any armors. Meow is the only player alive here. She would rather go for those exit frags and maybe die off from the spike detonating. Again, Orangutan knowing how to play around their utilities. Not only that, they also have good trades here. And you can definitely see that even when Casper died off, Japeeps was ready to take on the action going back to it. And this just allowed them to open up the side completely.
For real. And now, gee, they're in a little bit of a pickle because, yeah, they are going to be having that operator on Muffin Loop, a hero operator, in fact, but so does Capricious because I believe that particular gun was taken away, unfortunately, and held onto into this next particular round by Capricious. Ultimate Economy also right now sort of swinging in the favor of Orangutan here. They still have that Hunter's Fury. They also are only 1 away from that lockdown. We might see that coming into play. Though for GE as well, they're really close to a lot of these crucial ultimates. 2 away from that Rolling Thunder. 2 away from that Cosmic Divide if they want to put it down. It's going to be a neck-and-neck round here coming out of both of these teams. However, I don't know where exactly this operator is going to be positioned. It does seem like they're looking for an early kill towards this A side, and Kiri, if she's not careful, she's going to get punished.
Not only that, but this operator on GE has been a liability so far, more than valuable for the rest of the team. Again, you have to have that firepower to make a retake happen. And if that operator is on your hands, it just stops you to a point where you just cannot go in and you hold yourself back because you want to save the operator. 3-2, and so far, it's a play for picks here. Hi-Fei, though, no more traps on the defense, I would say. Now with a drone, they're gonna be spotting out Meow. This is a double trouble yet again, an operator shot. Again, trying to bait and switch here. She managed to take 1 kill, but again, Capricious with the operator takes the swing, gets the kill as well. C is open for the take, and now they're doing exactly that. Using up the blades here with the Hunter's
Down,
Fury. They
C.
try to make and create space yet again, going back to Global Esports.
30 seconds left.
It connected, but yet it's still a 2v2.
Yeah, Capricious going huge there with the trades, being able to find not just Muffin Loop, but also Rose now. That is going to make it down to just one player. It has to be Curie for the clutch. Does have that Hunter's Fury. Did use it to try and deny the plant, but now have to isolate the 1v1 somehow. Find the shot onto Casper, but Capricious will be the one to make this round work for Orangutan 4 with the help of that operator, and the round for OG. And once again, Global Esports, their economy not in the greatest position. Muffin did commit that Blade Storm as well in the last round, so we're not going to be seeing it coming in through. But, you know, despite Global losing that round, I really like that play coming out of them. The Hunter's Fury slash that push coming out of Muffin Loop there, her being able to find a couple of kills with the Blade Storm. Like, even if they lost the round, it shows some really good strats coming out of them.
Exactly. And if you think about it, it could have gone the other way. It could have worked perfectly as well for them. And again, the trouble remains is when Orangutan here really prepared for the trade-offs. That's why it's a little bit harder, especially in 2v1 situations. And especially on the defense itself, where it's a triple site that we are looking at. It's more defined here that the players are more out on the outskirts of the map, I would say, since it's triple site. Again, pistol round for Global Esports here. They want to take as much kills as they can and maybe even pick up a Vandal along the way if that's how the round, or that's how the round they want to see.
Still going to be a 5v5, though. Once again, the C-Long control has been taken. It is going to be offensively held by not just Muffin Loop, but also Meow16k. You got to check your corners, though. Zinni does manage to do so. And right now, it's all down to Muffin Loop being onslaughted by Utility right now. Chloe eventually finding the kill, and once again the C side, it does look a little bit more available for business. Hyphae not quite able to connect the shot after turning that flash, and now it's all down to these two remaining players. Go towards mid here. Japeeps already watching for the flank, ready in fact for anything that might come up, and I don't know how much more value these two are going to be able to find. Their information has been given away as well with the help of that turret.
Not only that, I don't think they're gonna use up any utility play here anymore aside from Kiri. And it's just a matter of time. Either the spike detonates or they get or pick up at least some of the kills here against Orangutan, putting damage to the economy. It seems to be impossible right now for the rest of the team of GE. And again, discipline shows from Orangutan's side. They're just holding down the pulse plant here, making sure everything is safe and secured. And this is going to be a 5-2 as Rose dies off from this spike detonation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good call to make, honestly. You don't want to give your enemies more ult points to really work with. Capricious would have had the Blade Storm if Rose had died to her, so a little bit of a good call. But now, once again, it's going to be an operator battle between these two Jets. Ever since Capricious got that free operator, she hasn't dropped it. She's been on fire, being able to go 10-4 right now. She had a little bit of a slow map last time around on the Neon, but Jet is where she is the most comfortable, and it shows exactly why. 4 ultimates online right now for Orangutan, 1 away from the Blade Storm. They have everything to work with, the momentum as well as the ultimates. For Global, though, they're not too badly off because they are just 1 away from the lockdown themselves, and they have that Rolling Thunder as well. If Muffin Loop can find these crucial first kills, it might be the difference maker. They are going to be pushing aggressively into sewers, though it is going to be neither side quite being able to connect these kills quite yet.
I really like the discipline here coming in from Orangutan. They know that they might be seeing another operator. Again, Muffin Loop here, a very aggressive position for someone who doesn't have a trade off. Again, also, she still has a tailwind here if ever. No tailwind away. This is very risky, Zach. Again, one and done position. Especially without help coming in or pressure coming in from a main here. No flashes, no nothing, no tailwinds. 5-2, and now we are seeing the entry coming in from Orangutan. Lineups, a little bit too early, I would say, for that default plant. As Zinni is planning the spike. Orangutan here on the upper hand. The flank, though, it works out for Meow here. She managed to take on 1, but again, that allows her to put up the Cosmic Divide here. Hyphae, though, exactly her positioning. The stun connects Rose. She's the only woman alive, and with the 4K, Zinni finishes off. She's hyped. She's ready to kill. Looking for blood. OGT 6-2.
You know, when Breach gets a clutch or an ace, he kind of like goes crazy. He's like, I'm in overdrive! And that's exactly what Zitty really managed to pull across in that particular round. Of course, Meow16k did do her best to come on the flank, but the awareness was there. Capricious immediately rotates over, the quick reactions out of OGT to respond to any eventuality. I think this is what really makes this their map pick. They've beaten so many teams on this map, so it's at this point they're all hands at it. Global Esports, once again though, the economy gonna be in a bit of an issue. You do have that Marshall on Muffin Loop. Might be able to find some value, but aside from that, it is just going to be pistols across the board. No damage really being done by either side as of yet, though. It's only been a couple of seconds in a round. Early information towards A. Curie gets it off the back of that. Rose goes for a push, but at this point, this play, it's getting just a little bit repetitive from the side of GE. It does seem like Orangutan, they're always more than ready for it. Two players this time around pushing into the corner. Meow finds one. Will they expect the second is going to be the question, and they do. Japim's already there for the swing and the kill. And now once again, the C-side looks so vulnerable. Often tries to get some kills, does do a little bit of damage, but at the end of the day, oof, it is going to be Orangutan in the throne, in the driver's seat. 3v1, all down to this remaining player, Curie.
Truly on the driver's seat here right now for Orangutan, knowing
Spike
that this
planted.
was also their map pick. Japeeps already spotting out where Kiri might be. Silverdrone being used already to spot her more. It's like nowhere to run, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. It's a Sova versus Sova. Again, once you swing, you're gonna die. Japeeps! She still got the kill and she is mad capricious. It's like, why? 7-2, it is Orangutan taking the lead here. And Zach, so far, aggressive pushes on the defense here for GE really not working out in their favor. Orangutan just knows how to answer back, and they answer back with numbers.
Yeah, they're really able to do some damage here. The thing is, they're playing together, sticking together, and I think just the trades overall, like you mentioned, you know, Muffin putting herself in a lot of these one-and-done positions, not having the backup really necessary. Like, you notice if Capricious goes with the op, there's always somebody with her. That kind of buddy system kind of seems to be missing so far from GE. Talking about missing, though, it is that trademark patience out of Orangutan. They're willing to get a little bit aggressive here already, having gone into a short with the help of this Blade Storm. I think it's spotted out as well. They know exactly where she's going to be playing, though that concussion from Rose will at least buy her a little bit more time. I'm surprised Haife is willing to get so aggressive here, considering she has that lockdown for the retake. Goes for the jump peek, though this time around it does seem like Capricious will not be punishing her for that mistake. Counter lockdown invested as well as they try to hold on to the site, and this might be the difference maker.
It might be. They're still planting the spike. Confident enough. They have to be really careful here.
Oh, the
no one
lineups.
really on the flank, I would say, but a Cosmic Divide prepared to actually punish the site yet again, covering all from city up to heaven. It's gonna make the retake here more difficult, but Chloe, again, this breach onto hell, they have to clear it out. It's so difficult. Casper ready to take on the trades here. Japeeps really going on. And aside from that, with a Blade Storm, Meow was able to punish too, but Japeeps! Tondo Gaming is back! We knew this is gonna happen. I told you, Zach. Japeeps texted me already. It's like, my hands are quite itchy for that kill.
I think Japeeps has made it a trademark of this tournament to get as many knives as possible. I think she
The
got 2 or
female
3
Jessie
yesterday as
Vash
well. Yeah.
of the Philippines. Ladies and gents, careful, Japeeps. At some point, you might look like Jessie Vash. Careful. But anyway, it's just a joke. We're Japeeps.
He's kind of badass.
Yeah, this is the female Jessie Vash of the Philippines that we're looking at right now. All those knife kills, I see you. It's already the 4th, right? Oh, whoa! What a shot from Meow. Only connecting to one though, Zach. And Chloe, yet again, ready for another trade.
Yeah, last round, you know, still talking about last round, I think Casper won them that round. She might not have gotten all the kills, but that Cosmic Divide, it just made that retake impossible for the side of Global Esports. Beautiful work coming out of her. Like I keep saying, I would say hands down, she's one of the best Astras in the circuit right now. Though, talking about this round right now, it is going to be, once again, GE in a little bit of a backwards position, looking to possibly try and make this work out. Muffin gets a beautiful shot onto Chloe, expecting the lurk towards spawn. Might be able to hold on to this operator, which I think is the right call here, considering that the economy for GE isn't probably going to measure enough to buy an operator right now. The remaining players is trying to do as much damage as possible, still in fact trying to go in for this retake in this 2v3 situation. Although with the clock ticking as much as it has, I don't know if it's going to be a possibility. It does seem like the call is for Rose to hold to Gun and Muffin, looking to push forward. Does put the smoke down, but it's not going to cover everything. Casper ready with the angle. It's all down to Rose here. The IGL misses the shot. Has to try and hold on for dear life. With a couple of seconds left, the question is whether she will be able to keep this operator or not. Oh, 5 seconds.
It's a running game.
Rose.
Oh, one. Oh
round in the
no.
half.
She's not gonna
Casper
be
says
able
no.
to save it. No operator for this round. Muffin Loop. She really threw out the operator here. Really tried to make a play happen. Going in onto the site. Maybe trying to find a pick. And maybe it still would work out in that sense. But again, Rose not hitting the shots in the end. Not saving the operator for GE. It's gonna be another investment here, Zach. It's gonna be on to Muffin Loop. No armors whatsoever.
Revealing area.
I mean, if you can hit your shot on
Yeah.
operator, you don't need armor anyway. Right now, the Orangutan once again changing up the pace of the game. They've gone for slow rounds in this first half of this half, but now though they're happy to get super aggressive. That shot from Muffin though, I believe, through Garage, able to already tag down Capricious to just 11 HP and a dream. It's gonna be a full 5-on-5 retake right now. No ultimates available for GE, with the exception of that Hunter's Fury. It is gonna be the Rolling Thunder, in fact, coming out of Zinni and Capricious ready for the flank. Chloe as well in the meantime, just being able to farm through kills on Garage. Finally, Rose strikes back, able to find that first. I don't know if that's gonna be enough though, because these last couple of players, it seems like they're just stuck in that corner. 4 kills to find, only about 20 seconds left on the clock. Fury pushing forward, trying to do some hero work. Finds the first. This might still be doable, especially if you look at the HP of these players. But the clock, it's already ticked its way. I don't know if this is gonna be viable right now. Trying to stick it. Is this gonna happen?
Last player standing.
Oh, Fury gets the kills, but Capricious from 11 HP patches out the round, and 2-10 Orangutan. They finish commandingly.
They definitely do. What a round that we just saw here. 2-10 so far is the score. Let's see what the panel think about our first half here. Tash and Trix, take it away.
Thank you very much, Zach and Taylor. I have to say that I'm not surprised to see these 10 rounds in a row taken by Orangutan. They've shown us again and again why they are the queens of Haven. So, Trix, what do you think that Orangutan did right, and what exactly do you think GE needs to do in order to mitigate this aggression or aggressive plays from Orangutan?
I think Orangutan in general was just able to hold that space. They didn't always play too aggressive. They didn't always play too defensive either. They had enough information. They knew to use utility to clear their corners. On the side of GE, I felt that they had some plays that could have been great, but then didn't go too well because they weren't expecting the retake. They weren't expecting OGT to use the utility that they needed to use in order to clear corners, especially losing that operator early on from Muffin Loop was very damaging to them.
Yeah, I felt like Capricious did not lose that op at all throughout so many different rounds. And I have to say that it looked so good though for GE. The first 2 rounds were very, very dominating. They had the op, they had those pickoffs, but then suddenly it was just so dominating from the side of Orangutan. Again and again, they show us what exactly they do so well on that map and why exactly it worked. They've overtaken RRQ Kaguya on that map, and now they're overtaking GE. I'm just curious to know whether or not they can take off SMG one day. Regardless of the situation though, I think that for GE, it is time to really take a step back and figure out what exactly they have to do to figure out to kind of stop this aggression, as well as I would say confidence coming in from Orangutan, especially from the side of Capricious.
I think that moving forward, Orangutan just need to keep that momentum, the momentum that they've gained in terms of being able to hold those angles, play on those crossfires, really play off of each other, because that's what they were lacking in Fracture, and now they clearly have it again.
Yeah, but when it comes to this, we've seen Orangutan come back on the second half. We've seen some comebacks on 111s. And I think that in this situation, we've seen so many different things go around. Regardless, 10-2 half. Let's see if GE can bring it back. So I'm going to pass it over to Taylor as well as Zach. Take it away, ladies.
Back here again on our second half. Thank you so much to our panel, by the way. Looking so great. But anyway, Zach, 2-10 is the score. We swap sides here, and G on the attack. We heard the thoughts of panel. You want to add something into that? How can GE actually make a comeback happen here?
Well, pretty simple. They start with winning that pistol like they did
Yeah,
last
exactly.
time around.
First step, pistol round.
Yeah, first up pistol round though. Orangutan, this is their map pick. They've done a super great job at playing it so far. 10 rounds in a row went off the back of that momentum. Capricious still looking to get a little bit dicey here off the back of that mid push. Immediately, GE, they're going to be running towards this A side where already you can see some killjoy utility making their job so much rougher. Meow. Sorry, Muffin is able to find that entry, but going to be no trades forthcoming here. Oh, that is going to be the aftershock doing a lot of damage. Zinni though,
Right
still
there.
barely able to stay alive. 5 HP in a dream, numbers advantage in favor of Orangutan. It's gonna be Meow looking for more though, finding not one but two. Capricious finally striking back. And Haifei, she will be able to get that final kill. No plant unfortunately for GE, but they still win the pistol and they stay in the series. 3-10.
That's what's important anyway. We don't mind about the plant as long as you get the round. And this time, it is a successful take for GE here, especially when it comes to the engagements. As you can see, OGT, despite trying to make a trade happen here and there, in the end, it's a pistol round and one shot to the head can eliminate you quite quickly. 10-3 is the score here in Global Esports, and I feel like the road to retakes, or rather, the road to comeback starts here. They have to really double down on that trade-offs.
Slowly but surely is the game. Gee, they've already proven to kind of be the comeback queens over the course of this open one so far, Terrar, but I think that this might just be just a little bit more than they can chew if they're not careful. It's gonna have to be brick by brick here. They're looking to go for this A side already. That stack is proving to be very dangerous. Casper, once again, these beautiful nebula smokes just coming down on time again and again. Utility usage-wise, one of the best players for sure, and this shows exactly why. Even in these kind of rounds where Orangutan don't have much of an investment, they're not going to be giving up at all. They're just doing their best to try and make sure that it goes in their favor. Haifei as well, looking for a kind of a lurk play. It's got to be Killjoy versus Killjoy just across the doors.
I don't
do
think
it, Haifei.
that Chloe is gonna hop out of this because she has a shorty, but she actually did a little bit of a bait here, making Haifei wait a little longer. And for OGT, the 4-man stack
30
onto A.
seconds
I
left.
feel like GE sniffed that out. Want to make space here onto C, starting off with a kill onto Chloe. That creates enough space for them to take. This is going to be a clean plant, Zach,
Right
and no
there.
one really around the corner, but you
Spike
have to be
planted.
really careful. Look at the rotations of OGT, flanking already.
Yeah, Zinni as well, already getting the headshot. Casper able to complete that kill. They're going to be jumping all the way in. Japeeps as well with that classic, finding not one but two huge kills coming out of Orangutan right now. These last 4 players in Garage looking to do a little bit more value. The smoke goes down from the jet. Casper trying to stick to the fuse, and it doesn't seem like Global Esports, they're aware of this. Already halfway through, Casper trying to get all of it right now, and will be able to do so as it is going to be Capricious getting that final kill, and that is just devastating misplay coming out of Global Esports. They push a little bit too far, lose so many players in that garage area. When you have that weapon advantage, you don't want to take those kind of close quarter fights, because Japeeps showed us exactly how much damage the Classic can do at that range.
Not only that, it was extremely a team effort coming in from Orangutan. You could see Casper being, or rather getting stuck, or Zinni seeing someone and actually just hiding, letting Casper take the kill. Again, the buddy system working out wonderfully from the Orangutan side. Strength in numbers is what we see here, and Orangutan really knows how to pave the way. This is their map pick. This is their comfortable pick. It goes to show. Oh, there's a flash. It settles in! With a spray down again from Capricious. This is gonna be the trade. Japeeps though. She's gonna be stunned. She's also
Spike
shocked.
down A.
But she just laughed at it. But Zinni ready to take on the kills here. Only getting one. Again, a mishap coming in from OGT. Especially, this is an eco coming in from GE.
It's interesting though, they're not even gonna be going to try and pick up those rifles which they knew that were dropped. They know that the rotation from Orangutan is already probably gonna be on its way. They're kind of looking for more kills here across the map. Those nanoswarms being triggered might be a little bit of information given away as they try to make their way forward towards this B site. Still a 2v2, though the HP and the weapon advantage is definitely in the hands of these Orangutan players who are on the hunt themselves right now. They're going to be going towards the C side, possibly expecting that to be the play, but look at where GE are here, Terrar. They're going back to A.
And it's gonna be a re-hit from CT side, I guess. We swapped out the sides here. OGT on the hunt. Looking for blood. Looking for kills. 13 seconds remaining. More than enough time. Not even a single pressure onto A. And GE, they have to successfully take this plant. They only have a pistol, like you said. They didn't pick up any guns at all from A main. But Casper and Chloe, they know they need to trade off from each other. They have to clear out all the angles here. And starting off, you have to deal with that fault line first. Swing from Meow, probably from the smoke. Chloe reacting quite well. There's still one player remaining. That's going to be a Heaven. And that's going to be Rose waiting patiently. Chloe knows that. And Rose, using the capabilities, the full potential of a Sheriff to make a wallbang happen for 11.
That was so beautifully played by G there. I was on the edge of my seat that entire round. Of course, both of these teams getting these... Yeah. I mean, I might have, but we don't have to tell everybody watching. Okay, but jokes apart, I think that G, both teams were able to keep that trade advantage going. In fact, Orangutan had a little bit of a head start with the weaponry as well as the damage being done. But still, the trades for G were in their favor. The positioning, the crossfire, of course, just the way they played that entire round. It was just beautiful coming out of them. I think that might be the best round of today's match. If you look at it if you look at it strategically at the very least. Right now, though, talking about strategy, Capricious is adopting the same thing that Muffin Loop had once upon, going for a bit of a foray towards mid, though they will be dashing back because they don't want to commit too much. And Global Esports, their buy has been revitalized for Orangutan. We can't quite say the same. A little bit of a mixed one for them. And it does seem like B is going to be the point of contention this time.
They're still waiting for that pickoff. Maybe someone swings. But at the same time, exactly that's what Orangutan is also waiting for. A contact coming in from maybe a turret or from this jet or from Capricious, to be precise. And it's going to be a very, very slow take here from Global Esports. They have a Cosmic Divide that they can play around with. And it's a big utility play, I would say. Especially if OGT, again, really good on the retake here. So adding into that or maybe using that can help them a lot here to take the side. Again, Muffin Loop trying to open here. High fade. Gets a kill, but quick trade from Casper. Stops her on her toes. Again, Rose planting the spike as GE prepares for that post plant. Cosmic Divide settled in as well, Zach.
Oh, but Capricious already pushing out here, looking for a little bit of damage towards long. It's going to be the bait coming out of these players. However, though, it's going to be 2 for 2. The trade's coming in favor of G. Finally, make that a 1v1. It's all down to Meow 16k. Capricious with the dash activated. Tries to go for the Cosmic Divide, though. Oh, it does hide the information, but Meow was ready for it. A little bit of a heart attack for all the GE fans watching. And, of course, us casters, but at the end of the day...
for us.
Me too.
For
us,
everyone.
I think for everyone.
Literally, at this point, it is not impossible to make a comeback happen, especially here on the attack. Seems like GE has more trades happening, and at the same time, it feels like they win more duels as well here on the attackers as well. But a big risk right now, or a big thing to think about, is actually this operator in the hands of Capricious. We saw her use the operator on the attack. Vicious, I would say. Gives info onto long A. Capricious waiting patiently. Muffin Loop! Perfect execution on that pull! Good kill coming in here from GE. A good start, I would say. They want to put more pressure. Concuss not really hitting anyone. Zach so far, that's just 1 kill. And it's a big one, an impactful one.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now off the back of that Rolling Thunder, it does look like GE are looking to head into side, or at least try and take control here, though there's not 1 but 2 players from Orangutan still staying alive towards this short area. GE haven't cleared this. I don't know if they're aware of the possibility, and through the smoke, it is going to be GE finding that first. Muffin getting a little bit too aggressive. Casper aware of that possibility, will be finding it, and suddenly, because of these 2 players in short, things just fall apart for GE. Orangutan, they get to match point here on their pick. 12-5.
Match point.
Putting at the plant and at the same time, the remainder of OGT really holding down the fort when it comes to sewers. And you can definitely see, despite losing Capricious here, they got indirect trades, very impactful kills coming forward and going forward. And it didn't phase them that they lost that operator. They're just gonna pick it back up. They know that they can still hold down the fort on the site. 12-5 it is, Zach. And at this point, it's a match point already. And for GE, it seems like the economy really not favoring their way.
Yeah, they did invest quite a bit into that particular round. Looking at this, of course, there's going to be another technical pause, but looking at
Of
this, I think
course.
that they still do have a couple of major ultimates to work with. In particular, I think that if they can get that Killjoy lockdown down to try and take the side or even buy a little bit more time, either they'll be able to get the site or they will be able to bait that Hunter's Fury out of Japeeps. They also have that Bladestorm for Muffin, so even if she doesn't have a gun, I think that might be a huge factor here. Curie as well, a little bit of nice post-mal utility available with that Hunter's Fury. Economy though, guns, I don't know, like you mentioned, it's not the greatest. For Orangutan though, everything is fantastic, because look at them, an operator, 4 rifles, 4 ultimates, a little bit of extra money in the bank. I don't know what more they really need to try and work with here. It's going to be an
Yeah.
uphill battle all the way for Global Esports, which I'm sure they're used to at this point. Like literally, it was a pretty similar situation in that last map. It was 5-10, and now we're 5-12. Not much of a difference, except for the fact that that was GE's pick. They looked so much better prepared, and it seemed like they had the strats to back it up. And on Haven so far, some of these rounds have been very close, true, but it seems like overall Orangutan, they just play the map control as well as they're better strategically when it comes down to, at the end of the day, getting those trades and playing it out.
And not only that as well, to think about it, map number 1 was secured by Global Esports. And on this map, at least, that gives them a cushion that we might or we still can go to map number 3. So even if the momentum has shifted here on Orangutan's side, you have to remember this is still their map pick. And they will obviously pick a map they're really strong at. And that's exactly Haven here, because they know that they are really good when it comes to the retakes and trade-offs. And I feel like that's the only thing lacking from Global Esports Phoenix here. They have a good foundation. They're crack players when it comes to the shots. They hit their shots, even with sheriffs. But yet again, you have positionings like a one-and-done position where no one can trade you off. You're just giving away the kill. And not only that, it can also go your way. You can also get majority of the kills, but it's such a risky play.
Either way, though, it's all or nothing right now for Global Esports. High risk, but high reward, like we talked about during that last game. I think that it is once again going to be that Bladestorm, like we talked about, coming out from Muffin Loop. Already, though, on this A side, it's going to be not just some Killjoy utility, but also 3 players that Muffin Loop has to try and contend with. Off the back of that alarm bot, it's going to be the Rolling Thunder investor right now. His players pushing out, getting aggressive, trying to find some kills, though. It is going to be Rose starting things off with a beautiful shot up to Japeeps. Chloe also getting tacked up quite a bit. And now the GE, they've done some damage. They're getting hungry. They want more on the site. It does seem like Rose, as the Agile, though, is kind of calling for a bit of a solo play. But Capricious on the flank already, getting a wallbang in. Still, will be forced back. GE with the numbers advantage, 5-3.
Good jump pick, I would say. Capricious already pulling up the shirt. It's already serious time here. Chloe now going and pushing
One enemy
forward. They
remaining.
want to go where the lockdown will be. Pushing in is going to be OGT. Unfortunately, enough for them. It's not going to be kills they're going to be looking at. It's
planted.
actually deaths. GE, they still have a chance here. They still have rounds to go. It's not yet over. Especially Capricious will just save this operator.
Yeah, similar plays that we saw coming out from Muffin in that last half. Right now, though, Global Esports, they should be patting themselves on the back. Round really well played. And overall, we were talking about map control when we were in that technical timeout. Global Esports, they seem to have finally got a grasp of it. Only time will tell if that's going to be too late for them to make a comeback here or if they're going to be able to push it to overtime. But, Meow 16k towards mid, finding that impact frag, them being able to bait out that Rolling Thunder as well. I think that they did quite well over the course of this round, not just being able to pick up those kills, but also be able to take some of those ultimates offline for OGT. That's going to be something in their favor. And all they have to do is get 6 more rounds. That's it. Oops.
Yeah, 6 more rounds to go for GE. A long way to go, I would say. But we already seen so much games come back from 12-1. What more at 12-6? 6 rounds consecutively, though. That's the main issue. And now I think this timeout might go to GE side. Like I said, they want to go back to the drawing board here, make their play cleaner, especially another chance has been set upon them. And again, they can still manage to take back the rounds that they lost here. They have a Hunter's Fury. They can either create space with that Hunter's Fury or play the post plant. But for this round, I would say OGT still holding on to that operator, Zach. And then at the same time, they also have a Cosmic Divide, a Hunter's Fury, and the Blade Storm. It's very difficult, but if they can get the kills here from GE side with the half armors that OGT has, it's doable.
Timeout though. You know, a little bit of strategic discussions, how they're gonna get revenge on Japeeps for that knife. No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah,
they had their
All
chance
mid,
last round.
5 of us knife Japeeps. That's the way. I'm saying
love
this
to see
because
that.
I'm friends with Japeeps, and I could just do that. Knife her. 12-6 it is, though. We've seen too many knife kills from Japeeps. We need a counter at this point. I think it was the 5th or 4th. Anyway.
Yeah. They're looking to go forward here. Muffin Loop already taking down so much mid control. It does seem like this B side, they've kind of just left it open for a retake possibility off the back of that flash. In fact, it is gonna be Muffin Loop heading in, although with the help of this utility, Zinni is able to find that first kill, the aftershock, and that Hunter's Fury able to do so much damage, and Zinni now getting that second as well. Muffin Loop pushing a little bit far, a little bit too aggressive. Already Global Esports, they lost 2 players. They're gonna have to try to go somewhere else on this map, though. This garage area, I don't know if this is the call, because there's just gonna be this brutal crossfire. Casper in the corner finds 2 already, looking to close it out. And Casper, that's going to be 13-6 for Orangutan. They take their map pick in an extremely dominant fashion. We're heading to Icebox.
Very dominant win here coming from Orangutan. We see all smiles here from the players. But yet again, this is just map number 2. We're going to map number 3. That means we're going to be seeing Icebox, our decider map that we have. But with this series, or rather with this first 2 games that we are seeing, Zach, so far, Orangutan adjusting quite well, really utilizing the utilities as well. And a really good game that we just witnessed. But I would say the panel has to say a lot more onto this match. So I would pass it on to Tash and Trix. Please do take it away.
Thanks very much, ladies. And now we're back here on the panels with me, Tash, running alongside Trix. And I think that it's very, very safe to say that Orangutan are still the reigning queens here over in Haven. I think what's really important to talk about here is the performance of GE, how they were already improving from the first time they were on Haven till now, and the performance of Orangutan seemed a little bit more shaky today as they go on against this team.
I think that GE definitely was able to kind of get their foot back into the door, especially at that second half when it flipped and they started getting aggression, they started playing more together. But again, when you have a lead that's like 10-2 going against you, it is very difficult. It's the amount of mistakes you can make are close to none, and we could see that there were mistakes that were being made on GE's side. OGT just being able to go to those flank positions quickly. They're able to retake their angles, and we saw that GE would give up angles but not retake it, or it would seem that they weren't even aware that that angle was given up to begin with.
Yeah, there were a little bit of those micro mistakes that really costed them round, especially just now when we saw Muffin Loop on the op and she didn't shoot Japips as well, kind of costed them, even though they were already ahead by 1 extra player. But now, our MVP is Capricious and Meow16k. Capricious looking very at home and very confident on this map. It felt as though that she regained her confidence as well as the focus back after her slow first start on Fracture. But for Meow16k, I think it's more consistency than anything, and it really shows that despite her playing a more flex role, whether it be duelist or even the smoker, she can still really frag up. But what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think Capricious seemed a lot more comfortable than on Neon when we saw them at Fracture. I can't really say if it's the map or if it's the agent itself, but just it seemed that she had a better understanding of what information she could take and what space that she had to give up or when she had to fall back. Meow16k was doing just absolutely fantastic. Although Casper's Astra was just also phenomenal.
It really was phenomenal when you think about it. Her holds is very aggressive Astra, and I really like seeing it. I mean, if we saw a head-to-head between these two Astras, we can see how both of them are very aggressive. But in terms of hold and proactive plays, I really gotta give it to
Yeah.
Casper, especially that 3K in the last round that Casper did. I think it was phenomenal that she was able to play that way. And in that situation, I think she's held that area in Garage for so long. I'm surprised that this was still not read by Global Esports.
It seemed that Global Esports wasn't adjusting their plays, wasn't adjusting the way they were reading the map and moving throughout the map. And on the flip side, OGT was adjusting it, right? OGT was taking different control, different spaces. You saw on their pistol round they took on mid, on other rounds they would take like C long, they had a triple setup on A, and I feel that kind of flexibility on a map like Haven is very important. You can't just be one-dimensional in your plays or the space that you're taking. You need to be able to adjust to the opponent and the way they're playing against you.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think that the sort of second half, the chaining of rounds from GE is when they really start to come online. You mentioned before that differential in terms of score really deterred them, but if say there wasn't a big differential, I might just think that it might go into GE's hands. It really shows that they learned a lot, and in confidence-wise, they are starting to slowly understand what GE brings to the table. And as for GE, I think the beginning of the game, I think they felt a little bit more shaky compared to the rest. Now, as we end this game here, Capricious being the MVP, I think it's really important to think that that you set up Capricious in the right situations and scenarios. And I think for
Yes.
Capricious, personally for me, I feel like she's always been the one to frag out, even without the support from teammates. That's exactly why Orangutan picked her up. And this is really crazy because it really shows her confidence as a duelist.
I think Capricious is just phenomenal, especially after seeing her on the operator. Even last year on Elite, I felt that she was so good on the operator. She's aggressive with her angles, but she's not alone all the time. So she's able to play with somebody. I felt that's where GE was struggling. They were often picked alone.
Yeah, but let's see if GE will manage to bring it back because we are now 1-1 in score going toward the last map of the night for this first series, and it is going to be Icebox, so don't go anywhere. More VCT Game Changers after this. Indian civil war rages on as we see Orangutan meeting head-to-head with Global Esports. Tash Buddy here alongside Trix. We're your panelists for tonight for the VCT Game Changers Asia Pacific 2023. Today is day number 3. We've seen 2 maps played for both teams here. Fracture being the first one, the second one being Orangutan's pick, being Haven. And now we go on to Icebox. Okay, from what we've seen in their performance today, Trix, what can you deduce for Icebox?
I feel like Icebox is definitely going to be one of those aim-heavy maps with all of the long angles, tight corners. I do find that the discipline that Orangutan has shown is definitely more than the discipline that we're seeing from Global Esports. Just in terms of trading with their teammates, being able to give up space, but also retaking that space with the proper utility is something that I feel will definitely make Global Esports struggle in Icebox.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, important to remember how aggression is highly rewarded on this map, whether it be on attack or defense. Taking up that space and getting that information, mid control is particularly something that I think the Orangutan should be wary about, because we've seen a double lurk here from mid side, whether it be from Kiri or even Muffin Loop. And that timing would be very, very important for Orangutan to worry about.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think GE has done some pretty phenomenal pincers on B long and A main as well.
I think that definitely that comment about mid control, I feel that a lot of teams underutilize it in terms of breaking that utility in mid, denying information on mid, and making sure that your team has that ability to move around without giving too much space to the opponents, whether you're attacker or defender. I feel mid is so pivotal, but on the flip side, you can also pressure the mains, whether it's A main or B main, to kind of force that rotation to then get the lurk in. But with GE being, having that double lurk, as we've seen ourselves, I find that Orangutan must have caught on to that as well and should be expecting it coming into Icebox.
I think it's also really, I think that it's when we come back to like lock-in, I think for the high level plays, we're seeing these intricate lineups, these situations where they have these very phenomenal walls with a Viper and even Harbor, but we didn't see it for these two teams. And I think it's really cool that they're going back to the basics and just trying to work with what they're more comfortable with. Now, when it comes to aggression, I really gotta give it to Orangutan. They are very, very proactive, especially when you have Capricious as well as her teammate. But now, when it comes to lineups here, or rather the agent picks, which player do you think will be making the biggest impact on this map? Because yesterday we saw it was Meow 16k.
Well, I would think that Capricious is going to be able to shine, especially on Icebox, considering they seem to lean towards that operator pick. And operators, if you're positioned properly with the right support, you're just able to really dominate control on this map in particular.
Now coming back into this is going to be another mirror matchup between these two teams. All 3 were mirror matchups, skill matchups rather. And it's a very interesting situation because sometimes you see one team really go back to the raw aim duel potential where they're just hitting all of their shots. But these two teams I think are very utility heavy. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. Both teams have definitely been utility heavy. I just think that the juggling of utility in terms of making that space, having that retake, understanding the cooldowns and everything, I do feel it does tend to favor Orangutan. I think Global Esports is doing a great job on their own in terms of taking that fight, taking that space. But in terms of utility, I feel like if there's one thing I want them to work on, it's that.
Yeah, it's really important to remember about those utilities. I think for day number 1, GE was kind of overusing the utilities a little bit early and didn't really have any for the post plant. But now we're seeing a change in how they play, and that's what we talk about in terms of, I would say, the learning curve from day number 1 till day number 3 on how exactly they can evolve as a team in such a small amount of time. Regardless, let's see if this is going to be toward Orangutan to go forward, or will we have Orangutan or even GE going home? So I'm gonna pass it over to our casters, Taylor as well as Zach. Take it away.
Yes, I was muted the entire time, my bad. But yes, we are going to be heading into map number 3, Icebox. You know, the decider between these two titans, who is going to be moving on and who is going to be moving home. It's me, Zach, and with me here is the wonderful Tyrar. I love saying
Hello, hello. Welcome back, ladies and gents, and everyone in between. We are on to map number 3. And like Zach and the panelists said already, again, a do or die matchup here, especially you're fighting for your life in this tournament as well. And again, Global Esports started off really strong here, winning their map pick. Just a quick recap on what happened if you just tuned in. And on map number 2, where Orangutan picked the map, they also won that. But this is the decider map that we have. And I truly agree with what Trix said a while ago as well. And it's an ongoing problem when it comes to that trade-offs. And if they can at least give that support to the operator players, for example, Muffin Loop in this case or scenario, they can make it work. GES starting off on the defense here, Zach.
Already you can see Meow16k getting a little bit aggressive here, breaking that recon, denying that instant information. A mirror comp for both of these sides. I think that yesterday in particular, we saw that duo of Muffin Loop and Meow16k being able to pop off in conjunction. And we're going to be having to see that kind of magic coming out today as well from not just them, but the rest of the team. Because Orangutan, they're here to play. It's been about 30 seconds on the clock already. No real control has been taken by Orangutan, though they are positioned towards this A side majority, including the spike here. They're just waiting for GE to make a mistake, but Global Esports, they're more than prepared to wait them out. In the meantime, Zinni has taken some control towards Tube here, looking to at least create this impression that there's going to be some other areas of the map that are in contention right now, but A is going to be where that hit is coming, and already Meow16k, having gotten the information, is going to be falling back because you can't really hold on to it alone.
Meow at least knowing how or having a brief idea how many people are on site already. But this is big trouble. Zinni actually has a good positioning here, good flank I would say, making GES really worry about the back ends here. And she's just putting pressure as this is still a post plan for them to take. And Rose starting off with a kill here. Japeeps though, and an indirect trade is again a double kill on towards Japeeps rather. With the help of Capricious here, 4v3, strength by numbers. Rose goes swing, and this is the push coming in from GE side to make the retake happen. Unfortunately, again and again, strength in numbers coming in from OGT, Zach.
Still can't get over that owl, so
I really liked how Orangutan played that because
Why
they
is it
waited
so
for
cute?
Zinni to create all of that false information that, okay, mid was the area where there is presence, there's nobody towards A, and then they just run it down, and poor Meow alone on side couldn't hold on to it. They were able to get a couple of kills, but yeah, like you mentioned, strength in numbers, Japeeps in particular going huge, being able to be that menace on site, that demon that they couldn't take down. Off the back of that Orangutan, they win that pistol and start strong. Now it's going to be 5 Spectres across the board, only Marshall online for Muffin Loop to try and contest this with. And once again, Orangutan, they know that this A side has worked for them before. They're looking to put a little bit more pressure with the help of the Killjoy. The spike itself, it's going to be going to B, and B side's free.
B side is free for the taking, but we can definitely also see rotations coming in, and the Killjoy just waiting patiently as well with the trap set. And for this, you know, as a map and Icebox as a map, those long range duels really difficult with just a classic here. Capricious sees a clear shot on that Killjoy and a spray down just to finish things off. But Hyphae here was able to go away with 1 kill at least.
Yeah, not an entire loss at this point. However, many of these Spectres that Orangutan lose, it's going to be good for G in the next round. It'll make this bonus much, much more harder. However, though, they seem to have realized the danger of trying to fight onto site. They're happy to just try to contest from a distance here. The spray down is going to be working out no matter where they are. The wall from Rose, in fact, giving them a little bit of space to take this first kill. Here, you finding that first frag. Zinni there with the trade, like you mentioned, and Muffin just trying to stick the spike here.
The wall.
Unfortunately, the wall comes through too late, and it is going to be Orangutan fighting the round. Though very, very expensive. They lose every single Spectre here.
I was expecting the wall to come up a little bit earlier, really
Yeah,
have
same.
that push from GE to have control over the site while someone was defusing, especially knowing that it was full on a B main control from the players of OGT. But yet again, the number disadvantage here really gives out a big factor. OGT now onto a 2-0, but this time around, Zach, Global Esports, this is their full buy round, to say the least.
got to work with here. Once again, Meow 16K denying that initial bit of information. Third time, I believe, that she's breaking that particular recon guard. Now, though, is going to hear the Sova drone will be spotted by it as well. The Viper will trying to deny a little bit of information in space here, but still, it does seem like G, they're opting to play this A side again and again for a retake already, though. It's going to be that first kill being found by Meow 16K. A huge kill onto Capricious. And with that ball going down, it seems like she's hunting for more. It's going to be broken still. Being that Bastion on site has some backup from Rose as well. It just seems like for once, Orangutan there on the back foot, especially with this buy.
Yeah, really go in putting pressure onto the sides here. They don't want OGT to plant the spike. Give that chance for them to reposition for the post plant. But again, there's still a wall here. Meow. Clean shot coming up from there. And Japeep Zinni, though. This pistol round so far has been working out for them. 3 already killed on the hands of Global Esports. And Muffalo will join them as well. 2v1 situation. Again, time sticking. This is still winnable for Rose. If she plays her cards right. Again, no one wants to peek. Very low in HP. Japeeps still doing some damage here. This wall really can be a lineup phase as well. Japeeps to go in. But still, Rose managed to pick up the kills. Get the spike defuse. Maybe just in time. This is the perfect timing for Rose. Very doable situation, Zach. Wonderfully taken away from OGT.
I mean, OGT almost took it away from G. Remember, it was a 3v5 where they didn't really have the guns to work with, but they still made it so expensive for Global Esports, taking out 4 of the rifles away. A beautiful clutch from Rose, of course. The IGL for the team, showing really why she's the big brain player for them. Just the patience to be able to tap the spike and wait for this kind of eventual push to come through, converting off the back of that with that quick spray transfer. Well done, but off the back of that, Global Esports, once again, you can see their buy. It's not looking the greatest. Ultimate economy for both of these teams is charging up. Hunter's Fury already online for Japeeps here. You might be seeing that come into action. Right now, the Rose tries to go for the orb, but Zinni was expecting it, and that's just going to be the Molly Shockdart combo to find that first blood for Orangutan again.
Not only that, she can't really fight that much for the angle, especially she was just holding on to a judge. Now, OGT, again, removing that controller agent from GE really gives control towards OGT's side here. Orangutan really changing up the pace very slowly, playing for contacts here, waiting for if anyone is aggressive enough to push.
I mean, Rose already tried that. It didn't go too well, so GE, they're looking to kind of go for a little bit of a slower play. Kiri, though, is expecting something. Her spidey sense is tingling, and it is going to be the right call here as the execute comes in on the A side. Unfortunately, not much left that Kiri can really try to stop this with, considering the amount of players that are on site right now. It is going to be a 4v5 asymmetrical retake coming in for Global Esports. Muffin towards mid, expecting the confrontation, but Casper is more than ready for it, finding that another kill right now, and Meow has to be so careful, knows that there's a lurk in mid, knows that there's that possibility of that late round coming in. But they have to be careful about Capricious on site, still being able to find these crucial flags. It's all down to just Haife and Kiri. Both of these players trying to do at least as much as possible. Take down a couple of these rifles. The Orangutan, they're not giving them the peaks. They're not giving them the fair fights at all. It's all down to just Kiri. A 1v the world, and it's going to be none left as Orangutan, they find round number 3.
So far, when it comes to the post-plant A side, it's definitely working out here for Orangutan. And it's been really clean. They were able to really get 1 kill off, open up the site, have that demand disadvantage yet again, and really prepare for the post plant. The discipline coming in from Orangutan as well to not really over peak and overextend, knowing that they're just playing onto the post plants itself is also a big factor here. You can definitely see the reset they're trying to do, especially when GE is putting pressure as well. Haife into a very, very aggressive positioning as soon as Rose also spots out Japeeps. It's a shotgun. Might as well go back.
Ooh. Casper, though, again, just being able to beat this menace, finds that first kill. Huge pick right now.
Take flight.
Still, though, at least there's going to be Haife spotting out a little bit of information, doing a bit of chip damage. That's not going to stop Casper. Already 2 on the round, looking for even more here as the spike is taking for Orangutan. Only a shorty, unfortunately, for Rose here. Well, forced to kind of go towards this B main area to find some value. Does have another friend with her at the very least, so at least Global Esports, they could try to find some damage here. The Naughty City has no way. 3 kills already through Muffin, though, with the Sheriff. A beautiful headshot into Capricious. Things heating up right now. The Viper spin online, but I don't think we're going to be seeing it committed in this kind of a scrappy round here. G just looking for whatever more they can find. Casper on the hunt, wants some kills. Muffin will deny it, however, and it's all down to just this remaining player who will die to the spike. Rose only had a shorty. Not too bad for GE, but if they ever needed a timeout, Terra, this is it, because, you know, this is their buy. They have 4 ults. They need to kind of strategize here and break that momentum for Orangutan.
This is the perfect opportunity for a timeout here from Global Esports. Seems like they're getting caught off guard from different angles as well, especially when they try to take in the sites here. Again, Orangutan, they know what they want to do and they know which angles to take. As soon as the spike is down, there's nothing anymore stopping them at their toes. But this round, we have so much utility play that can, or that GE can actually put to the table here for utilities, for a retake, quite very much so possible.
Yeah, those ultimates could be coming into take. In fact, they're almost have all 5. Curie only 1 away from that Hunter's Fury. Unfortunately, doesn't have it online right now, so this lockdown has to be respected right now. They're gonna fall back, but also gonna be investing that counter lockdown in the hopes that it might push these attackers off site. However, though, that's not gonna be the case here. In fact, it's gonna be the Hunter's Fury invested to break the lockdown to prevent it from happening. Although Curie and Muffin will both find a kill each onto site. Off the back of that, Curie finds her own Hunter's Fury, though Haifei is able to push onto site and get these kills. Gonna be tagged up super low though, and Japanese will be finding that trade. A 2v3 right now. Numbers advantage in hands of GE. Finally has that resurrection to work with as well if necessary. And the spike is gonna be in their control as well, because look at where it's dropped here.
Good control is what they have, but Casper, again, taking things slower, 1 by 1. Rolls. They know the positioning of one player, to say the least, here from GE. They only need to find one more. And that's going to be Meow again. Going down above Raptors. It's going to be Rose fighting for her life. But still Casper winning the engagement. Closing things off to a 5-1 with the plant. Extra money. Extra cash. We'll take it.
You know, this should be pretty impressive. Casper just used her ult that round. She already almost has it back. It's only going to be 2 away. Phenomenal gameplay coming out of Orangutan. A bit of a misplay from GE. Like, they spotted out these players. I think they expected for a re-rotate towards mid, but Curie holding a little bit of an awkward angle. Nobody really playing for early information on site, and that just cost them the round despite the number disadvantage. Orangutan, they pull it together and get it done. Casper, of course, we talked about her on her utility usage, but you know, on rounds like this, we also have to mention what a talented aimer she is. Just raw aim. I believe that she is India's first female Radiant, so it really shows.
Damn, wish I could have been Philippines, but I guess that's why I cast, right?
Too much competition.
That's why I cast, ladies and gents. Now again on a setup here for the default plant. Not gonna be able to plant as Muffin Loop goes in for the right click with the Blade Storm. 1 man down yet again as Meow catch, or rather caught off guard here. Rose, she knows it's gonna be B side. The spike is already planted. Utility wise, they still have the Viper Spit here, but again, in a disadvantageous position like this where you are into an eco round and you don't have any info, you need to play out. You don't have walls as well, so it's just really open fire here. Now with the trades, or rather with the kills coming off here from the side of Orangutan, Casper's just ready to take them all down. Haifei is the last person remaining and she goes as well. 6-1. Orangutan really taking it further.
Yeah, incredible start for them on this particular map. Though, you know, for all the GE fans in chat, don't worry, there is some hopium. Yesterday, same map, GE were 3-9 down, and they managed to make a comeback and win 13-11. I know it was against a different team. It's the Orangutan, who we've seen historically do quite well on this map. But all things considered, I think that GE still have it, and finally have what it takes if Orangutan aren't careful. But, you know, right now, it's going to be a timeout finally kicking in for GE. Much needed, I would say, considering that their full buy is coming in. They still have that Viper's Pit and that Resurrection. Also, Muffin Loop finally being able to get her hands on that Operator. Wasn't able to do too much with it in Haven, or at least as much as Capricious, but now this is her time to shine. If she's able to kind of get aggressive with it, get a couple of picks, and shut down OG right off the bat, it might be the difference maker.
especially this timeout as well, pretty much needed for the side of Global Esports. Knowing that this is going to be the buy round from an eco round we had a while ago. And aside from that, really big investment here as well, Zach. The operator, again, in the hands of Muffin Loop. And I really hope that for the defense here, you just really have to gauge on that early positionings. And like you said, no early info because, again, site is free to take. And the once GE actually rotates around with, the info is there, but you can hear them. But at the same time, there's too much Orangutan players on the side. They're ready for the trades already. They prepared the post plant.
Yeah. Prepared is the name of the game, and it does seem like Orangutan, they have it in spades. Again, just the awareness coming out of them. They know the possibility of the operator. They're looking to go towards other areas of the map instead. In fact, it's going to be a 4-person push down this tube to try and make it through the operator. Wallbang not quite working out. In fact, it's going to be a little bit of damage taken by this combination, although everybody's still going to be alive and kicking. They're going to be looking for this kind of mid to B strat, except they've never seen it done through tube. They do also have this kind of stage wall available. Chloe, though, being caught off guard. That's a first kill going in their favor at the very least. No lockdown for Haife, though, and with the Viper's pit being positioned as it is, it's going to be very difficult to take out. Especially with this operator. Never mind, I take it back. Muffin Loop gets the shot through the smoke. Huge kill. Tries to go for the second. Unfortunately, the trade's going in favor of Bungie right now. 2v2. Make that a 1v2 as Japeep's just going to be the last one standing. Oh, and Meow has the position. Beautiful work coming out of Global Esports as they finally find a round off the back of that timeout.
Meow, I can just imagine Meow asking for Rose. Can you please come around the spike? This wall, I cannot pass through. In the end, Global Esports again winning the aim duels here. Using up a Viper's Pit, and despite the Viper's Pit from OGT, again, it was capitalized. This kill from Muffin Loop was huge. It removed that Viper's Pit. It gave them clarity where they should peak. It gave them the advantage here totally and completely, I would say. Good job onto GE's side. 6-2 is the score. And this time around, Zach, they have a rest and also they have a Viper's Pit to play.
Yeah, they managed to hold on to both of those ultimates last time around. Great work coming out of them, though. Right now, talking about ultimates, it is going to be the lockdown available for Casper here. Did have it last round, but I think that because of that tube play, didn't really want to invest it. Right now, instead of some early pressure towards A, B is going to be where they're setting their sights. Already lockdown being posted down as well. No Hunters Free available to break it, so it does seem like Global Esports, they're going to be forced to respect this and fall back a little bit here. 5-on-5 retake is what we're looking at. And it does seem like it's going to be pretty easy plans coming in for the side of Orangutan.
Space created, as we would say. Chloe, though, stopped to her toes because of this nano swarm. Now planting the spike. Haife just pre-firing. But Capricious already onto the side here, making some damage towards the players here of OGT. It's gonna be GES. Haife with a kill, successful on the take. Picking up that Vandal, upgrading the guns. They still have a rest here in the hands of Chloe, but it's too far off. Now the wall settles in. But the wall, again, you have to clear out yellow. Japeeps just waiting patiently. This is just gonna be a double trouble from Chloe and Japeeps. They're not allowed to come in on the side. Muffin, stuck in orange. She has to go save this operator away, Zach.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2-7 right now as Orangutan. They take that space and that round off the back of some really good plays coming out of Japeeps. Oh my god, Meow. Muffin barely alive, tries to pull out the shorty, but Chloe will confirm that kill. They lose 2 players, but they take the operator online. I think that's a fair trade coming in for them. Unlucky. But you know, talking about this round, I think that despite Haife being able to find that first kill, you can really see why this is the meta comp when it comes down to Icebox. Because you just have so much utility available. You have, you know, the slows, you have the Killjoy lockdown and the nano swarms, you have the shock darts, you have the mollies. If that spike goes in, you're not going to defuse it unless you kill literally everybody. Then 40 seconds left before the spike really explodes. That's a lot to ask from any team.
Man, where's the sword? Happened to me one time, by the way. I was like, I paid for this. Why can't I see it? Like, it's so expensive. Muffin Loop, though. Making it expensive for OGT. What a headshot, but an indirect trade from Zinni immediately. The rest comes in. It's a 5-man stack yet again from Orangutan's side.
At least they're able to get that first kill, and it's such a crucial kill too, because remember, that is the resurrection for Meow being taken offline for the duration of the round. I know it's an eco, but still sometimes that kind of ult could come into play. Right now though, Muffin gets the refrag, goes for an aggressive push, catches Peeps off guard. A huge kill right there. We'll be having the Blaze Storm available as well, so that's going to be one rifle for Rose, as well as the Blaze Storm for the side of Muffin Loop. Hyphae though still on site, anchoring down this yellow position. Gets a huge kill there, though Chloe's position is just a little bit better. Resurrection comes through, and on the opposite side, it's gonna be Kiri finding a kill here. Ooh, Muffin gets a little bit too overeager, and it's gonna come back down to a 2v2. Both players for the side of Global Esports have acquired rifles. Viper's Pit also online for Rose here. No real post plan available except for some mollies from Zinni. If Rose can commit this Viper's Pit, they might be able to possibly try to stick that Diffuso. It is going to be the spike tapped.
I think the spike, that's the meta. That's what they're trying to do right now. Tapping in again gives an idea towards the side of OGT. But this is going to be tapping the spike right now. Kiri to make something happen. GES yet again. Pulling out utility plays here just to make a round happen. A thrifty round even. It was a scary start to say the least. But again, caught off guard was Peeps immediately. No info taken away from them here. And at the same time, Zach, moving forward here in B site, Hyphae really anchoring onto B main and B long. Despite being the spike planted here, Kiri really made the round execute while one was defusing.
Yeah, that Viper's Pit came in clutch. Huge round out of Global Esports, and off the back of that, they're going to be having a revitalized economy, still holding on to that lockdown, as well as this ultimate on the Sage. Muffin once again looking to get a little bit aggressive. Bites off too much more than she can chew, though, and unfortunately will be instantly punished. Chloe finding that kill. That's going to leave Hyphae alone on site, as the attack is going to come in for full swing for the side of Orangutan. Already the spike gonna be committed as well to gonna be planted up towards the top of the tube here, so unfortunately not gonna be able to deter it by the utility on site. However, it's gonna be the 1-for-1 trade as Casper finds out that the resurrection is still online, so it seems like Orangutan are aware of that. They're gonna be fighting for it.
Res still alive, or rather still online here like he said. Sova drone to get info. Meow though really just charging onto the sides here, preparing the wall. She wants to take it. Casper, on the other hand, really playing close. Casters from behind. It's going to be capricious. Sandwich play here. Kiri really on a pressure point right now. But again, even if she gets double kill here, it's still a round for OGT. Closing things off to an 8-3 scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, honestly for G, it's not too bad. If they can win this last round and a half, it's going to be pretty useful. They have the ultimates to do it with as well. They just have to be a little bit more patient. You know, Muffin Loop, we've talked about her before. Bit of an overheat moment. Her going down right off the bat just makes the defense so much more weaker, because on a map like Icebox, when your sites are so big, you really want to have as many players trying to play for crossfires and utility as much as possible. And Muffin kind of trying to go for that solo play, and if it doesn't work out, it's high risk, high reward, right? Yeah. If you're not going to be rewarded, it's going to leave the rest of your team in a really bad position. Economy right down, absolutely in the dumpster for G here as well. It doesn't look like Orangutan, they hold the cards heading into this particular last round.
The last round for the first half we're having, like you said already, Zach. It's a fast take also for Orangutan right now, very confidently taking in the side. With the Hunter's Fury being pulled out, the spike being planted, stopped. Just a little bit, just a little delay, but in the end, it would still be there. It's gonna be 2F. That Nano Swarm wouldn't go onto 2F though. Capricious to take on the initial hit here. It's gonna be Muffin Loop away again. No trades to cover her. No, not really a kill from GE's side. But this Hunter's Fury to put in pressure on the screens here. Meow though, hitting the shots onto the smoke. 3v4 situation. This retake is still doable, but the info is just given away. With the recon detecting everyone here. Meow, the verticality works out, but then Japeeps to take on the trade as well. 2v1, it's all up to Japeeps. She managed to take on one. Still, Kiri trying to defuse the spike. This spot is wall bangable, but Rose, she's ready for the trade. She's ready to help her teammate out. A good round from Global Esports here. 8-4 scoreline. The first half over. Let's see what the panel thinks about this. Stash and Tricks, take it away.
Massive tug of war here between the two Indian teams. The Indian Civil War rages on. I'm Tashmini alongside Tricks, we're panelists. And I have to say that in this particular map here, Orangutan showing supremacy, but GE managed to come back online. Now, how exactly did GE manage to take it away from Orangutan toward the end?
I feel like they were definitely able to use a lot more utility near the end to get those wins. We did say that the thing that GE tends to struggle with, as we've seen on Fracture, as we've seen on Haven, is actually being able to utilize the fact that they have these agents with such great utility, but they need to vary the way in which they use it. It can't be so one-dimensional, it can't be too predictable. And we see them start to try making those plays around their utility a lot more unpredictable instead of, you know, Orangutan using the utility they tend to use, but they're also winning in terms of their explosiveness, in terms of their ability to just get those fights down, get those utilities up, get everything going, and then having great crossfires. But the important thing that GE was doing and that they have to keep doing is to separate those fights.
Yep, yeah, but separating, I'm noticing this pattern, rather, how GE is trying to move together onto the side and holding the area as the defuse happens. GE has been doing a lot of, I would say, post-plant retakes here, and I think that's really good at doing that because they know that they're not able to stop the aggression or the fast takes of Orangutan.
Yeah.
And they even had a round where the Viper's Pit was put down, and they were able to still win it despite that Viper's Pit not being in their favor. What do you think?
I think that in general, it's good to see that GE is adjusting on the fly. I do think that there is more that they still have to do for each other in terms of getting that more round wins that they clearly need. Icebox, I do feel, tends to favor attacker side, much like Fracture. So if they're able to go onto that, you know, aggressive play together as a unit, they should be able to get those wins.
Yep, it is a 5v5 after all, Orangutan and GE. Let's see which team comes up on top here, because if you remember again, Orangutan is the team that has had the extra experience here, but GE, the Sunrise team, can you bring it and send Orangutan home?
Well, thank you for that breakdown, and I like that point that Trix made there, Terrar, the fact about the utility usage. However, I have a little bit of a fun fact of my own. Yesterday against Ghost Siren, G were on Icebox, 3-9 down. They had a really bad defense, which I think that today they did a little bit better on. Today, though, on attack, they were able to win so many rounds in a row, only losing 2 rounds on their way to be able to close the map out 13-11. The question is, are we going to be seeing more of that today as we swap sides?
Well, let's see and let's find out as we go in to another pistol round here on the second half. Capricious, first spot out. That's going to be Hype. No more traps upon that flanks. Very difficult for GES as Rose already goes down. Kiri is the only player alive here. Again, losing to all those non-tradable angles. As we can see, GES, one by one, they all falter. And in the end, Zinni was able to pick up on the kill. One man down only on towards OGT. Again, the first step towards this comeback is taking that pistol round, but unfortunate enough for Global Esports, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think that they've tried this kind of push a few times before. It seems like Orangutan were aware and ready to counter it. You can see that push from Capricious coming out right as soon as that wall went down towards mid. Just, of course, like you mentioned, unfavorable positions for Global Esports. Orangutan not only finding the timing, but also those untradeable kills. And just like that, it's going to be OGT taking the pistol. No force going to be there for G either, considering that, you know, they didn't get the plans and there's not much money in play here. Capricious again looking to get a little bit aggressive. Takes quite a bit of damage though from Muffin Sheriff and will be forced to fall back. No kills for either team quite yet, though. At least Capricious, she's taking that warning shot to heart.
Really a warning shot though. Capricious yet again being spotted out by the same scenario here, the Jet or Muffin Loop, although not hitting the headshot here. Another warning shot. If you guys have a warning shot, we also got one. And this game is a little hot, as Meow would say, with that skin onto the knife. But 9-4 it is. And so far, very slow takes from GE. They want to secure, again, isolate fights here. Here.
It's a bit slow right now, GE. Wanting to see if they can get a pick or two before really committing. That recon bolt, though, gonna get some valuable information, spotting out exactly where Muffin Loop is standing. Muffin's the only one with any kind of investment in this particular round. Off the back of that Sheriff, Chloe in this close angle as well. Bites off a little bit more than she can chew. The trades going in favor of GE. Finally, 2 in fact for Muffin Loop. It's all down to just this last player. Casper in a 1v4. However, though, think about this. All the players inside of GE are super tagged up. If you play for those crossfires, though, it doesn't matter. And that's exactly what they do. Fight or die in global esports, they're still fighting.
Yeah, might not win the pistol round, but when it comes to the second, we are to stop you on your toes. Exactly what Global Esports Phoenix did right here. And the 5-9, it's just 4 rounds away in total that you have to get here from Global Esports side. And especially, I think we stopped at the 9-3 scoreline a while ago, did we, Zach?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it
Wait,
9-3 curse? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Is it calling?
it's 9-5 now. It's we're in the new age.
New age! Ladies and gents, 9-3 curse isn't real. 210 is the new curse, as we call it.
Talking about curses, though, it does seem like the curse of Capricious is to get aggressive time and time again. You're not going to be punished this time around, though they have taken B lobby control for free, basically. It is going to force GE towards this A-side maneuver instead, where it is going to be just a bit of a retake setup. Casper still onto site, though more positioned towards his Rapture area, waiting for the information and for the team to possibly help out. Some utility available, but Muffin Roop sweeps in, taking down one already. Make that 2 as Curie find another. Global Esports, they take the numbers advantage, and they take the site as well. Muffin backing off to play that post plan successfully, and it is going to be the first kill on the retake coming in for OG.
Clean shot from Capricious right there. Again, Japeep's getting shot, or rather shocked by the dash in here from the Jet, but 4v2 situation. Again, they have the weapon advantage here from the side of GE. Score is gonna be 6-nice. And High Fate to close things off here. And again, not too far off now. Round by round, slowly, GE is actually making it happen. This A-side take, Zach, so far has been working out great for them.
It's been beautiful work coming out of all of these players. Capricious, of course, with that Sheriff, able to find 2 clean headshots, but that was kind of GE's bonus round. It doesn't matter if they go down, because they're just going to be able to buy back up. They have the economy and the momentum right now after those 2 wins. However, Orangutan, they're going to be bouncing back into this with clear heads. Capricious on that operator as well. We saw the kind of damage she was able to pull off last time around. And again, it's going to be her finding that first blood. Muffin, not ready for the peak.
And it's actually towards the duel, or the duelist here in Global Esports side. Now, there's nothing, or rather, there's no surprise capability coming in from Muffin Loop like we saw a while ago where she dashed in and Japeeps was just caught off guard from screens. And again, you have to have a duelist to open up the site, but I mean, so many players, so many teams have played this map without a duelist at all. So, duelist is just a mindset. Top tier analysis. 5v4 situation, Zach. And
You
still,
heard it here first.
slow take.
Duelist is just a mindset. Terror 2023. I'm going to be adding that to my codes collection. But yeah, right now it is going to be the execute coming out of these players on GE towards this B side of the map instead. The Jet hasn't quite rotated over. The APD are making their way. And with that wall going up, it does seem like Spike at least should be planted. Although it is going to be Meow 16K unfortunately caught in the open. The ball going down. The calm's not quite there for Global Esports. And in the meantime, Japeeps finds another. Capricious is later way over as well. It's all down to just this one player. High Fate against the world here. What can she really find? And the answer is nothing, as a flawless difference for Orangutan comes out. They get to double digits, 3 away from moving on and eliminating Global Esports.
They are just in sync here, Zach. When you look at it, when the wall comes up, we don't need replays. I'll explain it to you. When the wall came up from the Viper, you can see Casper really taking that advantage, you know, peeking as well. And despite GE actually seeing Casper before the wall comes up, Casper was just quick on her toes to think. And aside from that, OGT, when Zinni got a kill onto the Sage, they knew they didn't have to give enough pressure anymore because they had the advantage. The spike has been dropped on site. Here's Capricious again, going above Tube, above and beyond, as Buzz Lightyear would say, but again, not a kill here. She goes back, reposition.
To infinity and beyond. Though there's gonna be Muffin Loop bringing out that operator of her own. Hasn't quite had a chance to use it yet, especially with this, impressive utility on this A site, the Viper wall, as well as the Killjoy setup here. And now that's gonna be the shots fired from Muffin. They know that the operator is gonna be online. Capricious not quite able to connect the shot. The Muffin almost gets the collab there. Pulls the blade storm, feeling the momentum, but
One
Casper
enemy remaining.
making the plays here.
Spike down
Heal
A.
for Orangutan. Once again, Hyphae in a 1v4 situation. Killjoy versus Killjoy is going to be the first conflict. Casper more than ready for the fight and will be able to convert it at 3k for Casper. And the round for Orangutan and Global Esports, they're at the last tether here. I don't know what more they have in the tank.
Such clean rounds coming in from Orangutan. Yet again, you have to say thanks to those trade-offs. And look how fast the remainder of the players really reacted to that kill. After that initial pick-off, they wouldn't give the space or really that big of an advantage towards GE. They're willing to fight for their life and for control here on a site. And now a timeout comes in from GE's side. Very important one, I would say. They need a good reset here. You can definitely see the difference as well, Zach. Whenever Capricious plays around the site or even wherever she is, there's always that two supporting players to play around how she is getting kills or maybe even dying off. In the end, there's still two players ready to take the trade. And the difference is for Global Esports here, we've seen it in the defense, we've seen it in the attack. Muffin really is the type of player that can make plays, but yet again, if there's three people peeking at you, it's difficult to actually get those kills off.
I mean, so far it's just been phenomenal work coming out of Orangutan. Every single individual player, right? They're not afraid. Even if they lose a couple of picks off the bat, they're able to kind of just sweep and find the timings for these trades and get them done. Like last round, for example, Muffin Loop starts off, gets that first pick, second one falls on side as well, but Casper just finds the timing, finds the momentum, and is able to swing back into the thick of things. Japeeps as well, just kind of a convergence between these two players, making things work. And right now, Global Esports, they're kind of on their last leg when it comes to economy. They've put everything they can together for this buy, and they've taken a timeout as well. If they're going to start trying to make a comeback, it has to be now. We've seen 11-3 come out of Fnatic. I'm sure that other teams can pull it off too.
Yeah, and at the same time, we take a look at the agent compositions here. We don't have any flashes, so it's really going to be a swing for a swing. You really have to have those trades. Anyway, 6-11, and now GE preparing to take on the site here, burning down the utilities and using the lockdown as well to give and create space.
Yeah, that's gonna force to get respected right now by these defenders, seeing that they have no Hunter's Fury on Japeeps yet to break it open. It's going to be a full 5-on-5 retake, and right now it's going to come down to who's taking what fight when. Casper, though, has a lockdown of her own. Will be pushing it, though, immediately. Kiri is going to be trying to break it with the help of that Hunter's Fury. One less piece in the post-blind utility, and Capricious in the meantime finds out 1-2 with the Blade Storm, still looking for more. Before finally Muffin Loop shuts her down. Japeeps just trying to stick the defuse here, and it is going to be a Crowstone fake moment coming out. Orangutan, they find match in series point, 6-12, and it does seem like the end of the line for Global Esports. One away from being knocked out.
Though they honestly have to have a different strategy here. A while ago, the A side takes works out wonderfully, but this time around, if you have to repeat and repeat, of course, OGT knows how to dismantle the rest of the team of GE. You can almost as if see each and every round on the minimap, no one takes control over mid. All the pressure is coming in from A main, and if no one takes control over mid, there's not going to be a sandwich play. Everyone is just focused on A main, and OGT, they know that you just need to push them out and diffuse the spike, smoke off, and put pressure.
Hyphae has been trying to get that mid control that you talked about, but her timing seems just a little bit off. It already seems like people have died on site before that really comes into play. Once again, A side is going to be that point of interest. Casper this time is going to be playing for that retake setup once again, waiting for that backup before really pushing in. Cine as well, going for some aggression towards mid here. Possibly expecting Hyphae to come lurking around, though. It does seem like Global Esports are just trying to go in for the site. Casper already spots out Muffin Loop's head, forces the dash out of that player at the very least. And Global Esports, they've taken site. Bit of a bait tap coming out of Rose, aware of the possibility that there's gonna be that kind of Hunter's Fury available. And Casper finds first blood.
Casper yet again, but Muffin Loop. This is the trades we're looking after. Now with a Viper spin onto site here. It's gonna be a job from Chloe, but Casper and of course Capricious not yet done here. They still have a job to finish. They have to retake a site. Either they win or we take another round here from Global, or rather from Global Esports. Hyphae and Meow clean things up here. GE yet again alive for another round. 7-12.
G is still fighting, as they like to say. I know their fan base, but you know, talking about that round, it's like you mentioned, Terra. It was exactly the kind of coordination that they needed. You know, Casper finds that first split, but these players, they don't clear their corners, and Muffin Loop is able to capitalize off the back of that aggressive position to really find some value. They didn't have to invest the Viper's Pit as well to confirm the round, but confirm it they do, and off the back of that Global Esports, they stay alive. They had to use 2 ultimates, I believe, both that Hunter's Fury as well as that Viper's Pit to confirm it, but they do have that Resurrection on board in case they need to get a quick kind of rest coming in. Once again, it's going to be an aggressive position being held by Capricious, looking to go forward. Will be spotted and forced off the angle though, so at least GE is using their utility proactively and not being surprised like they were that first time.
Exactly, especially there's no flash play to expect anything at all. And it can be just a wide angle being held by Capricious. And they were correct that use of Sova Drone at least saved their lives here. Or probably saved their lives. But again, a Sova Drone burnt already. An initiating factor towards the site to get info. They still have a recon here, I suppose. And a res to play around with. But again, they have to make another clean take here against OGT. B-side for the taking. And that's the first, a good start from Hi-Fei. Getting the kill there. Casper really controlling mid here. Again, no control over mid from GE. But right now, they're planting the spike.
Oh, that position. They expected that kind of play to come in from Zinni on that plant denial, and they were ready for it, able to get that kill. Meow finds another, but Japip strikes back. Meow now stuck onto site. They're aware of that possibility. They're trying to isolate that particular pick. Build this wall from Rose. They're finding so much value. Hi-Fei on the lurk as well. Finally finds the timing. A 3K for Hi-Fei, 2 for Meow, and the round for GE. 8-12, and well,
exactly what I was talking about, Zach. Hi-Fei actually rotated from B main. You can see it right now in the mini-map, all the way to mid, and because of that control, she was able to get 2 kills off. Because people, or rather players from OGT, were all just busy looking onto site.
Really, really well played. And like you talked about, right, that was the distraction that they really needed. Because like I mentioned so far, you know, even though Hi-Fei has been trying to go for that mid control and that lurk kind of play, she hasn't been able to really find those timings because everybody on site dies so fast. But with Global Esports taking a little bit more space, playing a little bit more aggressively in both of the rounds that they've won so far, they're able to prevent that quick retake coming in for Orangutan. Sure, they go down, but you know, players like Meow16k in that last run or Muffin Loop in that first one, they're able to find at least 2 frags to their name before finally being shut down, and that's what really makes the difference towards the end of it.
And so far, really, GE here, crawling their way back to the top, crawling their way back to make this overtime happen. We're only 4 rounds away, Zach, and we are going to be able to see an overtime in case. But yet again, OGT or Orangutan here going for a timeout, and I feel like they have a plan set in pace or a strategy when it comes to this pistol, because if you, or rather not a pistol, but a broken buy from them. So let's see if they can capitalize on that. Just enough money to buy off for the next round anyway. At least they have guns here on this specific round.
Despite that, though, they're still going to be investing quite liberally into it because, like you mentioned, the guns might not be the greatest, but they are going to be putting that Viper's Pit towards that ace side. Aggressive mid-control as well to try to block off that particular angle. G does break the wall for a little bit of fake information, but nevertheless, they are going to be pushing their way towards this ace side instead, where it's not just Casper, but also Zinni and her Viper's Pit kind of holding down the fort. I don't know if this is the best idea, but Global Esports, they're still going to be trying to venture on, go down into the particular side. Casper being spotted out, though not quite taken down yet. A lot of oppressive utility from both of these agents here. Viper kind of playing that pseudo-sentinel role as Global Esports try to get the spike down, or at least try to get that pick. Multiple rotations, in fact, are going to be coming in, and Casper, in that pit, will be able to at least put that wall. The Muffin will get first blood.
That's the initial kill they're trying to look after. Again! Casper here, getting caught by the bullet. Just a random stray bullet arriving to her head. Didn't expect that at all. Makes it a 5v3 situation right now. And with the lockdown, this will yet again create the space right now for GES. Zinni making some damage here, especially with the help of the recon. But again, You have to respect this lockdown. She's detained. She's gonna die off. 13 seconds remaining to plant the spike. Successfully doing so is gonna be GE. There's still a 5-man here. This is really good round for them so far. And looking good. It's gonna be Muffin Loop as she takes another kill here. Triple already on this specific round as well.
Just Chapeeps now, the 1v5. Aware of the possibility of a lurk towards mid, though it is going to be Muffin, who is that first point of contention, and, well, Chapeep is not even got a chance to get a shot. A flawless round for G as they get to 9, a 4K for Muffin on that jet, and this is the kind of firepower that I feel like Global Esports really needs to bring on board, you know, especially backed up by the team, because, you know, you saw Muffin doing these kind of aggressive plays in the previous half, but alone now, though, she has her entire team behind her, and this is the kind of work that she's able to pull off. Orangutan, they are able to get a bye together once again, but Global Esports, they have the momentum, they have the rounds, they're only 3 rounds behind, and they have the economy to be able to buy in for all of them. All they have to do is win those 3 to get it to overtime and try to steal it away from OG. What a good game.
Already, they've come so far here. And so, as soon as rounds go over like this, the more GE gets momentum, and you can definitely see that from Muffin Loop. She's really going crack here onto the rounds that we are looking at. And so far, the takes that she's been doing, the peaks and the pick-offs, is so far phenomenal and really working the way for the rest of the team. Here we go again. Muffin Loop knows exactly where this jet might be. A Recon Dart really to put pressure onto Capricious. This is exactly what GES needs. Kiri to take on the kill. Info Game is the name, or rather Info is the name of the game. Muffin Loop yet again to take another kill here. Really looking so clean, Zach.
Last player
I gotta say,
standing.
at this point, it is gonna be G fighting hardcore. The Japeeps has something to say of her own, able to find 2 kills already. 70 HP left, has to ace clutch it out to win this for Orangutan and prevent it from sliding into overtime or at least another round. Clock is ticking though. The angle by Muffin Loop is too much, and Japeeps doesn't even check it. Global Esports, they find double digits as well, 2 away from overtime, and just beautiful plays coming out. The pressure from the entire team. Orangutan seems to be buckling under it. That brutal kill onto Capricious, and off the bat, just the trades. You know, you see Orangutan trying to come in for these trades here, but the rest of Global Esports, they're behind Muffin, and it's just falling apart for Orangutan. Once again, an eco situation, not the greatest guns in the world, though they will be having several ultimates online in that next one if necessary. What a game.
They do have to save for this round though. And obviously for Global Esports, this is good news so far for them. Big advantage here on this specific round. Crucial for them to take. It's either this, they go home, or they fight and live to see another day here in this tournament. Muffin Loop, so far, being extremely hot on the trigger here. Really finding the kills that she wants to find. Again, pushing in. This time alone. No trade-offs. We're back at square one.
Unlucky. At least they managed to take down Capricious. And remember, Mayo 16K does have that res available. It does seem like Orangutan, they're aware of that though. They're looking to kind of control the corpse here. Prevent this from coming through. 3 players on site, kind of just stacking it down. Zenny also picks up that upgrade, so even if they res Muffin Loop, they're not going to be able to have that gun available. Still, Global Esports are now looking to rotate over towards B instead. Casper, aware of it, will be trying to just play for that retake setup. 1 kill, and she will be having that lockdown to push these players off. In fact, it's going to be the rest committed on the A side by Orangutan, keeping the numbers advantage as they head into this particular retake. 4v5.
They would rather wait here, especially they have a rest. They want to make sure and secure yet another round here. They're winning round, to say the least. Orangutan slowly walking their way back to B side, crawling. And Capricious really taking the flank here while the rest of the team puts pressure from the front lines. Kiri really holding this specific angle as well. Capricious successful on the flank here. She has the Blade Storm. She managed to pick up on 1. And now with a triple kill, closing things off. And finally, Orangutan here securing the round and securing the win in this best of 3 series. What a game here, Zach.
13-10, a beautiful performance coming out of GE, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Orangutan taking it home. They were up so far. I think it was like 11-5, and finally they had a little bit of struggles, but that resurrection, I feel like Chloe knew exactly what she was doing. Capricious with the Blade Storm, that's a force you don't want to reckon with, and Capricious shows us exactly when it's going to be the case. Orangutan, they're going to be moving on in this lower bracket, but unfortunately, for us at least, we're going to have to say goodbye to GE for the course of this tournament. But, you know, I've been so impressed by them over the course of this playoff stage. Remember, out of 71 teams, they made top 6, so huge.
Yeah, really big growth, or rather big growth towards this team. So anyway, very exciting for Orangutan as they move to the series yet again. Still big kudos when it comes to GE. But for now, it is definitely that's it for us for game, or rather series number 1. Well, we still have a panel to actually look at and break down what happened in this series. So without further ado, Tash and of course Trix, please do take it away.
Thanks very much, ladies. What a massive best of 3, with the last map being Icebox here. Orangutan looking very dominant on the first half. Second half on the hands of GE. Now, Trix, let's talk a little bit about how GE was able to fully take away every single round away from Orangutan and prevent them from ending the game.
It just seemed that finally GE started to click onto the fact that they have to move together. That's what I was telling you as well. They have to move as a unit, especially on the second half. On the attacker side, you want that refrag, you want to clear your corners. And it really broke my heart on that last round. Unfortunately, they sent one player up to a stacked site and ended up losing a gun to it, although the opponents were on an eco round. So it just felt like there were some mistakes there, maybe a call or two of overheating. But honestly, OG did a fantastic job, especially their attacker side. It was phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, sometimes I do question about some teams how they do so well on one half of the map on attack or defense and do not so good on the other half. So this is something that we should definitely psychologically talk about eventually in the future. But now for the MVP, Casper and Muffin Loop up in here. And honestly, not surprising for Casper. She has been phenomenal with her mid control as well as her rotations. Timing has been personally on point. Now for the side of Muffin Loop, I think that she has really stepped up, especially in the second half. Her op shots were on point. She has been multi-fragging like crazy, playing those really close angles.
Her angles were really good. The fact that she was also playing those aggressive vertical angles on Icebox, because that's what a lot of people say is difficult about dealing with Icebox, right? Because you're not exactly sure where the headshot line is, you're not sure where the opponent is going to play, and she really used that to her advantage. She would reposition herself, she would position herself in aggressive spots, go back, re-peek with proper utility, with a refrag. It was really good to watch.
Okay, now looking at the stats here for post plant 6 to 8 to 12 and 6 to 8 here from both teams. What do you think about Orangutan's really high post plant percentage?
Orangutan just seeming to be a lot more coordinated in general, in terms of, okay, if they're going to take this site, this is how we're going to retake it. This is a utility available. You can see that in the way they're positioning themselves as well.
Okay, but what about Global Esports? 6 in 8 of the post-plant situations. What exactly are the strengths in the post-plant situation?
For Global Esports, it was actually the aggression that they would take. So they wouldn't just take it solely on their own, for example, but they'd be able to take aggression as a group. They're able to have those refrags. That's what I keep talking about, and what I feel is so important to these teams is understanding that there's a reason why we need the refrags to be available. And in post-plant situations, you have to understand, as an agent with a lot of utility, when you have to fall back on the retake. When the opponent is retaking you, when do you give up that space, and why are you giving it up?
Yeah, and on top of that, I think that when we look at Capricious, especially toward the beginning of the second half, she felt very shaky. She was trying to play these aggressive angles, but she got punished over and over for it. And we didn't really see a reposition or I would say, a replan on how exactly they're going to want to plan to play it in a different way. But when you see Capricious, and I think this is a very dual-sided kind of personality of hers, is that when she is confident, she will absolutely pop the heck off. But then in situations where she isn't enabled, where she is being oppressed, suddenly she's just completely out of the picture. What's your opinion on that?
I find that it's actually difficult for me with the duelist setups. I find when a duelist gets shut down, they feel like they're really shut down, because most of the duelist kit shines when you're able to actually pop off with it. You're able to use your utility. But on the flip side, as we've seen with Casper on that MVP, like looking at, when you shut down a duelist, shutting down Casper, especially on a map like Haven, was actually difficult because her agent was so prioritized on being able to use her utility and just help her teammates.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of map control by Casper on top of the mid control rotations that she has been doing. It's been absolutely phenomenal seeing her really take up that space at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, I think that in terms of Orangutan, there was a lot of hesitation toward the end there. You start to see the confidence sort of dwindling as they lost so many rounds. And I think this is very common to see as the round swaps. What is your opinion as a pro player about that?
I think they should have they should have trusted their Killjoy to kind of solo that side, solo that rotation, and just have the rest of the team stack on aggression. That way they know that there's a certain line at which the opponents haven't crossed, and there's a line at which they're going to say, okay, this is where our retake can start to happen. And if they end up going to the other side, at least there are more players there that are gonna take that control. So if they followed through with in terms of getting that information, getting that control early on their defender side, and having more confidence in it, different setups with it, I feel they would have done a better job on their defender.
Yeah, and on top of that, I felt like there were too many forced buy rounds there by Orangutan because they were losing so many rounds. Their economy was definitely damaged. There were in so many situations they were trying to force these buys, and sometimes it's only round 10. And personally, for me, I felt like it's okay to give away one round or two because they do have some leeway in terms of making mistakes. What's your opinion about them forcing buys so many rounds and not being able to full buy into the next few rounds?
I believe that more teams need to be aware of their economy and able to manage it properly. I understand that, we want to end it as quick as possible. We want to, we're worried about the fact that they have ultimates, that we have ultimates kind of thing, and you're trying to figure out how to balance that. In the middle of the game, it can be very difficult, but I think the reality is that at the end of the game, the issues that come up when you're having to deal with a broken economy is that they will start to snowball it on you. The fact that they're forcing you on these bad buys, and it just kind of puts you on the back foot the whole game.
But it's a very interesting mindset. We were talking about it during the break about how some teams were able to play much better on thrifties. We've seen that happen for RRQ Kaguya. We've seen it happen sometimes on Chloe as well on the gun deficit. And you mentioned it was about the nothing to lose mindset.
Yeah, and I feel that more players kind of need to have that mindset sometimes, that it gives you a false sense of confidence that you have nothing to lose, so you're going to take the duel, but you're going to take it when you feel like you have an advantage. And I think that's the difference. That people, when they have, they're not in an eco round, they think, okay, I'm just going to take this duel. But typically when you are on a thrifty round or when you're an eco, you're thinking, I'm going to take this duel because I have an advantage, because my teammate is here, because we're gonna throw something out, or we heard a footstep. Things like that make the difference between people who get that advantage in their thrifty rounds and those who get their advantage just in their gun rounds.
Okay, so let's take a step back here and look at the bigger picture here between the two teams. What do you think is the strat or the idea for Orangutan going on to attack and defense for Icebox?
I think going on attacker, Orangutan showed us that they really wanted that mid control, and we talked about it early on. That I feel there are too many teams that ignore the fact that if you punish mid, you're going to end up in the better position on your attacker side. On terms of defender, they had that mid setup, and I believe they were ready to punish anyone who wanted to take that mid setup and caught them off guard when there's like 4 or 5 stacked on just the A main or the B main. Nobody was really pushing mid, but later on they started utilizing that and having that early flank because they know that they don't have a flank or a lurk trying to pinch them.
All right, let's talk about the other side of the coin, global esports attack and defense. So we talk about precision, surgical sort of plays. Is it really surgical in your mind?
For global esports, I didn't really find it surgical. I felt that it was very much how they kind of felt in the middle of the round. They felt like they wanted to do this, and that's totally fair. There are a lot of teams that can do that, but you have to understand that that also comes with a kind of chemistry that you create with your players. That's a chemistry you create with your team. So, for example, if your team notices that, okay, our duelist is kind of on fire, they're feeling hot right now, then you're going to do everything you can in order to support that duelist and keep that confidence going because they're going to get those kills. On the flip side, if your duelist is also not feeling so hot and you're relying on a duelist entry, you got to think about what you can do as support players in order to start opening that side up and helping each other to start making those decisions. I feel GE kind of struggled in that sense of understanding each other as players. You could see they all had an idea of what they wanted to do. Some were peaking, some weren't peaking, and I felt that it was ultimately their downfall.
Yeah, and think about it again. They are a very new team, Sunrise team rather, that were just announced a few weeks ago, or was even a week ago. Now, coming into this, what did you think is their performance as a brand new team? Do you think that is a lot more about the chemistry they have to worry about, or is it rather the teamwork and team play?
I think that teamwork and team play, as well as chemistry, kind of link with each other. I think as a new team, I found that they're performing so well. It's actually really nice to watch them. I love seeing how it is right now in VCT Game Changers. There are a lot of teams that are coming in. They're new lineups, or maybe some older players in new lineups, and it just feels fantastic. We can see the effort that everybody is putting. I think if GE were to take anything away from this game, and anything away from the APAC series right now, I do think it is that they need to figure out how to juggle their utility better. And some of that comes with communication, some of that comes with understanding the utility of the opponent as well, and understanding what your teammates want to do. And all of that put together will, in general, give them better teamwork.
Yeah, speaking about teamwork, I'm really excited to talk to you more about Orangutan's roster here. We had Capricious now picked up into the team after Chloe
Yeah.
that was picked up last year. So now with Sway moving aside for Capricious, what do you think has been the main objective of the team? Are they building their lineups and their strats based on Capricious' speed, or do you think it's a whole other way that they're trying to play with Capricious here?
I don't really see that Orangutan is particularly trying to play around Capricious. I do feel that maybe sometimes I have seen before that it seems people are trying to kind of keep up with the playstyle that Capricious is having. But Capricious has shown, especially in today's series, that she's able to work with a team. You can see that it wasn't necessarily that she was dictating the pace of everything. Everybody could dictate it, but especially when she had that operator, it's like her teammates are starting to work around her, starting to work, helping her get that opening pick and then refrag her. Because you did see that there were times Capricious would go down, and that is going to be common in Valorant. But you can also see that all of her teammates are always backing her up and trying to help her in the duels, trying to help her in the refrags, and it was really great watching Orangutan play. They seemed to also be confident in leaving some players alone, but they were also confident in their team play. I do wish their defender side was a little more aggressive though.
Oh yeah, we talked about that during the break.
Yeah.
Me and Trix were talking about how on defense side, I mean, we talked about how this map is very very rewarding for aggressive players, and I think that we did start to see a spark of that toward the defense side for the side of Orangutan. Though it doesn't necessarily mean that they were trying to push out or anything. It was more of Capricious being on that op that's given them a lot of value. But once Capricious was sort of out of it and was sort of I would say oppressed by the utilities, by the amount of people actually looking out for her, that was when things start to go a little bit more jittery for them. Regardless, I'm really excited to see whether or not that we will be having a interview. I don't think that the player is here quite yet, but waiting for director to just update us. Nothing yet. Okay, so it's gonna be Casper coming here to talk to us, and I'm really excited about this. Hello, Casper!
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh my god. Wait, I think
Yes.
we've spoken before. Yes, we have spoken before. This is my second time speaking with her, and this time she will be up here with Trix. Okay, Casper, I have so many questions for you, and I think that right now, given the fact that the game was really close, how are you feeling? Casper, are you there?
Connected, I think.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi, Casper, are you there? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear the question.
Okay, I wanted to say that the congratulations on winning the series today. It was a 3-map game and very, very close. How are you feeling right now?
It was kind of exhausting, but feels good to win, of course.
It feels really good. Okay,
Yep.
so I called this game, or this match rather, an Indian civil war, and you came up on top. Now, is there a lot of pressure on your shoulders coming from being the only Indian team from Indian organization to really show your fans that you are able to raise the Indian flag?
Yeah, it's kind of proud feeling like to be the only person to play in an international team. So it feels great, I feel. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about that game just now. So, did you
Yep.
expect global esports to come this close to you guys?
Yeah, they are good players. Like individually, everyone have different skills, and they all are good together. Yeah, like I knew it's gonna be a tough competition. So I was ready for it.
Okay, from global esports, who do you think was the player that you guys were really worried about?
Muffin, because she's the duelist.
Muffin.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Trix, you're a little bit quiet here. I want to know if you have any questions
Just
for
one.
Casper. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have one question for Casper. So tell me, how does it feel to be such a fantastic support with this team?
Like I don't know what to
Your
say.
your ability to just kind
Yeah.
of read the room, does it come from the help of your teammates, or does it come primarily just from your game sense?
It's just from my game. Like I'm not the ideal. If you're confusing me with the ideal.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that your ability to react to situations,
Okay,
make
yeah, okay.
decisions on
Nah,
the fly,
that's
it's
all
actually
me.
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Wow.
like sometimes we get the comms, so we just
Mhm.
react to it.
All right. Thank you very much, Casper, and I hope to see you guys soon. Still so glad that for you to be here, and good luck for your next games. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
All right. For now, we're gonna go to a quick break. It's quite late now, but we still have the second series of the day where we might say goodbye. Well, we are gonna be saying goodbye to another team. So if you wanna know who, please stay around. We'll see you guys in a little while.
We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get